Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. As I hope and I pray that we always do. We're gonna talk about some things. We got a lot of things that's going on this morning. I'm not important, man. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem, but we got some fellas here that's very important. These are my brothers from another mother, but we got those same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Good deal, good deal. Badger. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning on another beautiful and blessed day, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got some things good. Now, Leonard, tonight is the night where they start the hearing for the situation. People got different names for it. We know what it's called, but the situation that happened January the 6th. What do you expect to come out of this?
I would expect that we are going to see some people that um, are going to look exactly what they are guilty.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is what are they going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do about it? There's plenty of evidence and things of that nature. And as the days have gone, even leading up to this,
Mm-hmm.
there has been so many other people that have been pulled into this. It definitely was an orchestrated effort by several
Mm-hmm.
members of our civilians and government actors that staged this attempted coup against the United States
Mm-hmm. What do you think their intent was?
to take over the United States of America and do as they please.
Wow. And typically those are the kind of people that will be arrested and locked up on felony charges, correct?
Should be. Should be. We
Why?
should treat them as enemy combatants of the United States of America
Mm-hmm. So why do you think it hadn't happened?
because they white. The
Mm-hmm.
majority of them are white. The majority of them are white individuals in positions of power. And this is what they attempted to do. This is what individuals do in other countries as well. Anybody with a little military training in the background tries to take over things.
Mm. What message are we sending to the rest of the world that we did nothing, Leonard? And Badge, I want to hear your take on this part as well.
Well, it's not a message that we send into the world. What is happening is that one, we're starting to look like everywhere else, whereas before, I guess this was like never supposed to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it's happening, so you can't deny it. This is no different than ISIS or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's same people start same type of people start certain things and they rebel against the government this way.
Wow.
It has
Now,
this happen it happens all the time. It's
mm-hmm.
always a story on world news. But if you don't watch world news, you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Wow.
don't even know what you need to compare this to or what it was, and that's why you have all these other people trying to call it something else.
Mm-hmm.
This was not just a riot. It was a attempted takeover of the United States of America. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it was. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't some peaceful march or rally or anything like that. It was a coordinated effort with very powerful people supporting it and planning it and waiting for it to happen for them to take their position in their new government.
Mm. Wow. Badger, how do you see it? Do you see it any differently, or is your view similar, or do you have your own view on it?
All of the above,
Mm-hmm.
different aspects. Um, someone someone there had to unlock those doors.
Mm-hmm.
Those ain't no. So it's the other part I'm curious about is it going to be as publicized like the whole court thing as much as the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's going to cause a lot of emotions if it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just. the whole thing, there's a lot of variables that aren't talked about, and it's something that should have never been able to happen.
Mm-hmm. But
So,
but now that it has happened, why is it taking so long to get any form of a signals of justice, as we see justice here in America?
well, they gotta do what they always do. They gotta burn any evidence they got.
Mm.
And you have to remember also, Raheem, this is not a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I've noticed that it's off between reality and people's feelings. Why
So
haven't we done something yet? Because it
how
takes
many years has it? How many
it,
years has it been, brother?
it takes over a year
Mm-hmm.
sometimes to do things. Look how long people sit in jail.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
But
so
mm,
you have to understand that a lot of times things don't happen the next day. So it is taking a minute to get this committee together to collect information, to make sure you pull in the people who you have evidence on that you want on trial.
Yeah,
Everybody
didn't it
has to
take
be
them
one at a
like
time.
4 or 5 months to get the Donald Trump's I don't know what, the visitor log or whatever?
right. See, a lot of these things take a certain amount of time, So one is supposed to be broadcast today and things like that. However, remember, guess who doesn't want to show it?
Oh yeah, Fox not gonna show it. They're not. They
Because
already said.
they've lied every other day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They've made up their own narratives and stories and built their own propaganda machine, and it is anti-justice and it is anti-truth. So this is not a party program.
Mm. Mm. My thing is, there's certain evidence that's there, and one of the biggest evidence that they have is a video. I mean, you can't lie on a video. You can't sit here and say
But there are
it didn't
many
happen.
people
Mhm.
who are guilty of participating that don't you would never see on that. It has nothing to do with the video.
Yeah,
This
absolutely,
is a
absolutely.
whole. You got to remember, this is a coordinated effort by certain members of the government, to stage this insurrection,
Mm-hmm.
and they ain't on no video.
Mm-hmm.
But they sure paid for it. They supported it. They sent all types of messages encouraging it and planning it and even helping people to get there.
So how do you get to those people?
This is the police, that's why it's taken so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you have to go find them. If they would, you don't expect people just to run down to them. Hey, guess what? I was at January 6th and I was trying to overthrow the government. It don't work like that.
Well, my thing is right, and I understand that part, and you make it a point when you say that, but my thing is this right here. It's been said that the United States, and I've heard you all say it here on this broadcast many times, that we have a technique. The world, I guess, has a technique of making people talk. So the people that you have, why aren't they talking?
Because you can't just torture people. People have a right to remain silent.
That ain't what y'all said the last time. That ain't what they ain't the conversation we had the
you
last
have
time.
a right to remain silent.
You
now,
do.
With the type of torture that you're talking about happens at very high levels of government. This is not that type of issue.
Look at this here, Leonard. Both of y'all read this right here. This young lady
here. There were
here,
also Democratic parties involved as well. Who said that there weren't? Call in, because I'm gonna come at you today. So you can call in and you can act like I did not say what I said if you would like. Because the issue was no one said that there wasn't Democrats or whatever. If it's proven that they were involved, they deserve the same thing that anyone else involved does. This ain't
so
a Democrat.
So basically, you said it's not a favor of a party.
No, it's whoever was involved in this issue. If there were Democrats involved, they deserve the same punishment. I don't think anyone else ever argued that they did not. So when somebody called in here with that type of comment already, I know your agenda already.
Let's go to the phone lines. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we are more than happy to have you, and you're certainly invited to be a part of this conversation. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to hear from you. Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can complain, man. Welcome to a beautiful new day, everybody.
Hey, welcome to you as well, brother. We're talking about the insurrection. The hearing is going to start tonight. They're gonna start talking about it, but you know, we already said that there's a certain news group out there. We know who it is that's not going to air it at all. They're not gonna air it at all. They're gonna pretty much act as if it's not going on, and they're gonna show whatever they want to show during that time. It's gonna start at 8 o'clock tonight, and so I encourage people to listen in. But what do you expect to happen from this whole fiesta that's going on?
I'm sort of pessimistic about it, man. Being that I saw how they got rid of the 9/11 investigation and how sometimes certain people seem to get away with things that others can't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all a big distraction and a procedure to say that they did it. I mean, we've actually seen them have hearings before, and when we listen to what is being said, we're still unhappy, but nothing is done about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just had pretty much a hearing for the Supreme Court nominee.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was up in arms about what happened, but it seemed to me like it was just a procedure to distract everybody, and she still got nominated. You know, so it needs to happen, but I would hope justice will be served. I just don't know if it will be. If they are found guilty in the end, they may not suffer the consequences that they should. Because honestly, to me, it was a coup, that was treason, and they should be executed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
According to the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We got another comment here. Leonard, read that there, brother.
We are on a world of absolute government corruption. You don't know my agenda because I am a Democrat, one that's, it looks like it's aware, some word aware Dems have imposters that are Republicans.
Mm-hmm. And the same person also said this right here. The caller is absolutely correct. Okay. Anybody want to comment on that?
On what they're right.
I heard the comment that was made too about it being Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that probably could have just been an also. You know how sometimes people can come in and they sort of piggybacking,
mm-hmm.
you know, just for information, so people won't think it might not have been a dispute for things, or maybe well, it wasn't just Republicans.
Yeah.
It may have just been, you know, something to show people, hey man, both sides of the bird is crooked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have some like they said, you got some fake Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And we know this happens. You know, what was that yesterday? I brought up about infiltration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, so that's odd that they mentioned that, because it is very possible. Well, it ain't no way it's very possible. It has been historically known that people will be in one party, but they actually stand for another party.
Mm-hmm.
They only ran under that moniker so they could win.
Yeah.
Or say they could sabotage the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all this is strategic, especially when you are elite. You have access to resources, power, and you have an agenda. Everything is possible. I mean, 9/11 is still a question, and JFK is still a question. But
mm-hmm.
from what it seems like, the impossible or the unexpected happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let's go to Captain. Captain, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Peace to the gods. We preach to all the brothers on the line. And,
yes, sir. Likewise to you, sir.
We, brother, I listen, you know, and you know, I try to stay out the political arena. I'm not one who likes to comment about the political landscape of America.
Mm-hmm.
But as you was talking, I thought about something that was very crucial, and I was speaking to some brothers earlier this morning on our prayer line. What we are looking at is the crack in the foundation of America's government.
Mm-hmm.
If you begin to attack the very foundation of their republic, and there's no more respect for the foundation of their republic by which they stand, then you're looking at the fall of America.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever been a builder, the foundation is the first thing that they lay.
Yeah.
It is the strength by which anything you built on it would determine
Mm-hmm.
how strong of which you built on that foundation. America's foundation has a crack.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that we need to be talking about, not on here, but I just throw it out there, is that as her world come down, then the kingdom of God, which is the foundation of righteousness, is where now we must build. So you get abandoned that. You see that ship sinking, you can go down with it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can get off that ship and get on the good ship, Jesus.
Come on.
Hello. I'm through, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ibrahim, what's going on, brother? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, all my brothers on the show today. I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? That's good. That's a good thing to say. You got up this morning, and I feel rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. What do you think about this whole situation is starting tonight? They're hearing about the January 6th situation. Insurrection is what some people will call it, and some people hesitate in calling it that. How do you feel about what is your expectation behind all this hearing? What do you think should happen?
Well, I'm wondering why people ain't in jail already. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, uh, it is so. It is so. I don't understand why people ain't in jail. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this was an attack against. I called it when I saw it happening, as I saw it happen on TV. I called people and say, "Hey, man, the Civil War is on. It's on for
Mm-hmm.
real now, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And well, some people don't see it, don't want to understand it, you know. But it was on. And anytime that if you look at historical, even in the history of the current history now, that's taking place now, anytime somebody attacks a state capital, I mean a capital of a government, right, and
Mm-hmm.
enters inside the chamber, and they started to do, but the only thing they didn't do, they didn't hold a hearing. Then that was a complete takeover, a political and psychological and a takeover of a government. Because you
Mm-hmm.
don't go to the president's office, you go to the body of law, where the law is created, right? That is the
Mm-hmm.
one that controls the government of man. And then the next thing, they go to the judicial system, and then, oh, by the way, then remove the president. You see the same thing happen in Egypt. You see the same thing happen in Libya. You know, that's the way you remove a government, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so when they went in there, that was remove of government. Like I said, that didn't happen during the Civil War. You know what I mean? So what I think is that why they're not in jail, you know, period. You can say Democrat, Republican, all like this here, but there are other forces in the play. You know, there's a split in the Republican Party and there's a split in the Democratic Party. A lot of y'all not old enough to remember that when black people were Lincoln Republicans instead of being Democrat in 1960 when all that change occurred, the running between Kennedy and Nixon, right? And what happened at that time happened right here in Atlanta. I'm not going into a lot of detail about that, but you know, and looking at it, the Republican Party had a motto, and also the Democratic had a motto. Democrat were the worst racist mothers that you could ever possibly think of. You can name them. You name all the segregationists. You name Democrat. But then they shifted over to the Republican Party. So now we have a party that was the Republican Party was based on more liberalism than the Democratic Party was, individual freedoms and stuff like that, right? And the mantra of the Democratic Party was being more of a social group, and for the whole. So, but basically, everybody went different directions. But however, here we are today, talking about this, and it should have been dealt with immediately after it happened. People should have been pulled in jail. This was an insurrection, insurrections,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whatever side you want to be on, right? But this
So
this
from your viewpoint, brother, and from where you're sitting, why do you think nothing has been done yet? Why do you think it's taking so long?
because you know the people are speaking. The people behind the curtain are finally revealing themselves. It's about control. Every battle is fought over land and resources and domination of therewith, right? Resources are even people. You know, that's power. You know, so that's what wars are fought over. Not fought over religion or in the person. It's completely controlled. You know, so this group want to be controlled, the white supremacist group, or the ideology of white supremacy, the European ideology, is alive and well, and they want to be in complete control of everything. They've been taking over the world and the country in my lifetime. I've seen it every place they've been taken over, right? And here we are today. You know, we're still talking about Hitler as some kind of a metaphysical thing, and it's here right here today. It's complete domination, control of a group of people. And you can call it what you want to call it. So, well, America ain't like this. America is no different than any other European country. Now they've been calling America the white country for the last 20 years. And you think that might be, oh, well, America always been, no, America always been no white country. But they finally throw off the shade, and now even the most liberal Democrat, whoever, call America a white country. They might not say in those terms, but that's exactly what they're saying. This is, this, you know, we have no affiliation with any other type of religious ideology, anything else. We are a Caucasian country, and we're for Caucasian people and the European mantra, right? Anybody don't fit in that line, the hell to pay. You know what I mean?
Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. We got
Raheem.
another. Hold on, Leonard. Read this here before you say that, Leonard.
Okay, gentlemen. Now that we know what this is supposed to be, what this is, what measures do we take to make sure that this does not happen again? First of all, I want to add that it's not that nothing's being done. You need to go to the place where the information is. You can go to the Department of Justice websites. You can see several people that have been arrested, tried. Some of them have already made deals and everything else. We posted it before, and it's related. Go to the Department of Justice website and go to Capitol breach cases. There is a lot of information there for you to look at.
Okay.
It's saying that, yeah, things are happening, but at such a slow rate. You know, one thing was brought out by a lot of people, right, on all sides of strife. If black people had a storm that Capitol, it'd have been imminent. You know exactly what happened. We wouldn't have, if we made it into the Capitol chambers, they would have blown up the whole Congress. They would have blown up the whole building to make sure that not one of us left. And that's the truth, right?
No, we're not gonna say that's the truth.
Okay, all right. You name it. You name a cause, name a place, name a time, and I will show you the difference, right?
It can't be the truth because it hasn't happened yet.
No.
It never happened.
No. We cutting hairs. Hold on. We're cutting hairs because what's being said. We're cutting hairs right now. And so we're not on that road because we know it hasn't happened. But he's saying hypothetically, had it happened, it would have been. And there's examples of situation where Black Lives Matters have been out there and they've been doing protesting in different situations, and the result wasn't the same. The result wasn't the same. So I think his example is, had it been that, and it's hypothetical. It's hypothetical. We don't know. But at the same time, we could look at the examples that we do have and gauge it from that. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning, family. How y'all doing, man?
Hey, doing good, Curtis. Asking a question, man. The whole insurrection situation, and some people call it insurrection, other people don't want to address it as such. But the hearing is starting today. Curtis, what do you expect from this hearing?
You know, do y'all remember well, I know a few people on here will definitely remember it. Do y'all remember the old mafia cases that was run by Robert Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay, so if you remember, that stuff ran prime time during the day. Whatever TV broadcasting was set to play, what was the old saying they used to say, Raheem? We regret to inform you that we are moving from our regular scheduled broadcasting. Bop, right? So what I expect is that I expect for the dots to be connected. Starting today, these people have gotten so much information, so many people done rolled over, right? That all of this conspiracy foolishness and all of that, Jamie Raskin's gonna put it out there. Because see, he's one of the few senators who was actually there with his kids. So see, now you don't put this man in a position to where, you know what you did, it adversely affected my kids. So what you're going to see is you're going to see all of the lies that was told from one side. You're going to be able to, it's going to be right in your face. Was it a lie or was it truth? So we finna see the truth. And we're going to see it through the documents and the testimonies that was given. Not, oh, we made this up and we got the power to take what we made up and turn it into evidence. No. You finna see what is true. Peter Navarro told us all the whole thing.
Curtis, are we gonna see? Are we gonna see the absolute truth though? Are we going to see the absolute truth?
Oh yeah, you finna see it. You finna see the absolute truth. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because now you finna see the testimony. So as a human being, I'm pretty sure each of us can look at a testimony and we can almost tell, that's a lie.
Yeah.
That might be true. What is going to happen, what I'm expecting, is for the American public who watches the committee hearings, it is no longer 12 jurors. If 1 million people watch it, you have 1 million jurors. I don't care if they got a bias of opinion or no. Right now, you are faced with two things. As litigious as our society has come, when it comes down to criminal law, you are going to see basically two lawyers. I mean, it's going to be a bunch of lawyers, but basically, when you look at it just from a simplistic thing of it being a courtroom, you're going to see a situation where one is going to have to argue the facts or argue how the facts was obtained.
Okay.
Start arguing how the facts was obtained, then that already tells you common sense that maybe these facts might be right. Because they're not even disputing if it's true or not. They're disputing how you got the information. If you can't argue the facts, that's law of 100. If you can't, what they say, Raheem, I think we done talked about it before. If you can't argue the facts, argue the situation or something like that. What that means is, if your case can't stand on facts and truth, then you argue how the truth was obtained.
Yeah, exactly. And we got another comment here. Leonard, read that for us if you don't mind, sir.
The national security claims a massive show. Political arrest would have the collapse OG America's government to its enemies. I can't really understand. They'll repost it most likely.
Okay. And my thing is, the phone lines are open. We have our AC Productions. That's who's actually making the comments. Give us a phone call. Give us a call, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Captain, talk to me, sir. What's on your heart?
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm so happy to see that handsome fella called Leonard. I ain't seen him in a couple of days. You looking mighty good, Leonard. How you doing, my brother?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm going to just sit in the catbird seat right now and there, brothers, and enjoy the flow. I'm listening to some great wisdom, and sometimes it's best to just be quiet and take in. So I'm in listening mode this morning, dear brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Raheem, that's going to air tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight at 8 o'clock.
Man, I love what Kurt just said, and the information that he provided for people to understand how government really works. If you have never watched the actual committee hearing and things like that for something like this, you should check it out and to see what all is involved. Like Kurt said, information and everything it takes a year, sometimes more than that. So we're hoping, especially with the brother that's the chair of this investigation, that he really drives it home. And like Kurt said, millions of jurors can see what the deal is, even taking the partisan out of it. you'll find out how partisanship is going to merge as a common factor in the individuals who participated in this.
Wow. Wow.
Not because we made it up or what have you. Now, if you know of any Democratic senators or whatever involved, you should actually call that number on that web page for the FBI that deals with capital violence and report that individual and their alleged participation because they need your help.
And you said alleged. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I'm thinking the American public, especially the melanated people that look like me and you, need to look at this with a sense of urgency, just as we would the Super Bowl, or just as we would anybody doing a crate challenge.
Yeah,
that we go to look at and see make a fool of themselves. You know, any kind of entertainment, we need to look at it with the same type of urgency and excitement, just to see how government works. You know, I was thinking that these people that did this insurrection, they probably actually tried to use the Black Panther, I ain't gonna call it insurrection, but protest as a model, even though they wasn't as civil as the Black Panthers were. But this goes to show you how partisan politics work and how double standards work in America. You know how everybody wants to fight for the Second Amendment rights, and they talk about rights for all and this and that, no discrimination. Well, after the Panthers civilly stormed the California Capitol, the NRA came up and supported a bill called the Panther Bill that essentially said the good guy with a gun aspect applies to everybody but Black people. And then Ronald Reagan supported it. So for those that, you know, don't understand really what's going on, maybe we do need to infiltrate the NRA and flood it with a lot of people that look like us to change that system. Because that's truly what they tried to do with the insurrection. And whether we realize it or not, they're showing us really how the process of life evolves when you want to overthrow a government or overthrow a system. You have to infiltrate it by different means. Now, they tried to do it in a violent way. It ended up causing death. That's the reason why they're in so much trouble. They probably could have did it in a more civil manner and it had not been so, looked so bad. But being that they did it that way, they still showed you an example of how a coup works. Now, you know, it didn't explain all the behind the scenes. I'm hoping this thing turns out right. I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that we don't have some huge distraction that takes our eyes off this and then they have to postpone it. You know, because sometimes we conveniently have national tragedies and all kind of things that happen, like recessions, that'll stop more important things that should happen later on from happening, like the 9/11 investigation that was supposed to happen, or the investigation on China and Bush that Obama canceled because we were in a recession and we couldn't afford to do it, or the SEC investigation that died when 9/11 happened. That was, man, a lot of heads was going to roll. A lot of big heads was going to roll. This was going to be huge. So if it's possible that this can be traced back to a plot, to a group of people that are plugged in very important positions, we may have some huge distraction happen before then that's going to take our attention away from it, because that's normally what happens so easily. But I hope we don't have anything distract our attention. Like I said, I hope we look at it with the same urgency as we do the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toya with a T, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. We're talking about the whole situation. The insurrection hearing is going to start tonight. It's going to start tonight at 8 o'clock. And it's like it's been said, you know, there's a potential that a lot of heads will roll in this whole situation, inside, outside, however it was done. Some people don't even want to say there was an insurrection. They want to call it something different. But Toya, what do you expect? What do you expect to happen from this whole situation?
Well, my expectation, hey, we Black people, we expected justice to be served. A lot of times it didn't, right? But I feel like, and I've been saying this for a couple of years, I believe this is God's moment. And I believe that they're going to pay a price. You know, humans always, we can always intervene and kind of do things differently. But I believe God speaks to everybody, even those that are devil driven. And he'll tell people what people should get, what people should deserve, and things of that nature. And I believe humans go and they entertain what they want in between there, right? So I do believe that they, in this time, they're going to have something done to them. Now, would it be to the same extent as if they were black people? Probably not. Like, you know, with a couple of instances we've had with police officers and shootings, you know, and then things came out after that, you know, evidence was hid or things of that nature. But that was something that we've been doing for years. You know what I'm saying? So now that it's actually out there, I believe something is going to be done. I just don't think that we're going to feel as if it mattered much, right?
Wow.
I can see them coming up with like time served. Okay, 4 year time served because it's already been 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I see them coming up with something foolish like that. I don't see no real jail time getting done. You know, I think that it'll still be a slap on the wrist compared to, and I believe they're going to break it down to the simplest form. But I do believe that something is going to be done about it, just to keep us from turning up, because they know that you know God's been speaking, God's been saying that some things need to be put in place. I just don't think that they're going to do the right thing.
Good deal, good deal. Badger, what do you think?
Which part?
What are we talking about, brother? What do you think gonna happen?
That's hard. That's really hard. You know, the one thing that's always been weighing on my mind is who let them in. And out of all the videos and things I've watched, all of those doors, all the security measures they have, nobody should have been able to walk in that building. Even if they got past the police outside. They put that place on lockdown. You're going to need explosives to get in. Like, that's the way it's designed. And it's I don't have a lot of trust in our politicians. So I guess people could say I'm biased. I don't care anymore. There's so much that goes on that is twisted and has an agenda that it's hard to trust what's on main media. You know, why don't they release all of the recorded video that was inside that Capitol? All of it. They're hiding something as per norm. So
hopefully that's what they're going to do tonight, because they did say in some of the stuff that there's going to be some video that has not previously been seen, and so hopefully that's a piece or a part of what's
I'll
going to
believe
happen
it when I see it.
Hey, we just gotta wait and see.
There is so much that has been happening with bills and rights and healthcare and mental health and January 6th. You know, most people don't remember that the government came out and said that they were behind JFK. They released that, I think around the time of 9/11. It's kind of ironic that normally when they release the things that they were behind, there's usually some mass thing going on. Either a disease or a war or something.
And that's what that's what Rico was saying. He hoping there's not going to be a distraction going on today. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? And we got our Tucson just joined us. I'm coming to you next, brother.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all how real it is, right? And
Talk to me.
sometimes when you don't do, not doing to tell the truth. So I gotta ask: has anybody thought about the fact that Fox News is not broadcasting the hearings on their regular channel?
Yeah, you have to search for it to find it.
They're broadcasting the hearings on a channel that doesn't have. They broadcasting it, but they putting it on a channel that doesn't have a viewing viewing ratings.
Yeah, the numbers
as high as the regular Fox News channel has.
Why is that?
So I'm just me thinking. It's just my opinion. The names that's been to come out in this hearing can almost put the party in a position to where the party will be completely toppled. See, sometimes your quest for power, if you're not capable of checking yourself, your quest for power will destroy you. And that is what we got a front row seat to it. The quest for power is destroying that party, right? Fox News is not putting that on their regular regular channel with their highest rating channel, because you have to understand that their highest rating channel does not just have right wing staunch Republicans. Their regular channel has what you call moderate Republicans, middle of the road Republicans. They have a Republican, that particular channel has a Republican base that is not as extreme as what we're seeing, like the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and stuff like that.
Curtis, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. And this one of the viewers on LinkedIn, the young lady, I don't know if it's a young lady or a gentleman, but that was posting with us, said that there's also, or there's a potential that some Democratic people from the Democratic Party could be a part of this thing as well. Do you how do you bite on that?
Oh, I can give you their names. Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema. Yeah, she right. Whoever posted that, they right. Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema. It may even come out that the Republican Party got something over Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. It may even come out that Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema was actually Republicans who turned Democratic. So they was plants. What I'm telling you is, irregardless to what party, after these hearings, we're going to find out exactly who is responsible. We finna find that out. Kevin McCarthy is going to be forced to either go with these moderates. See, here's something that nobody ever talks about. These extreme Republicans that we're talking about, Ryan, do you know that they're only like 26% of the Republican voting base? They're only 26%. You have a minority within a minority that's controlling the majority.
Qualify that number, brother. How did you get to that number?
Because when you really sit down and you break down the Republican and Democratic voting block, right? And you look at the ideologies, the average Republican, if you pay attention to Mike Steele, if you pay attention to I call him the Wu-Tang Man, John Edelman, if you pay attention to, there's a show, there's like a documentary show that comes on Showtime, I believe every Sunday, called The Circle. Everybody on this show are Republicans. They are a part of that the Lincoln Project. You know, the Lincoln Project is predominantly Republicans, and they're Republican funded and started, right? The Lincoln Project breaks down the numbers, where if you realistically look at what was going on and you look at the numbers, Trump's voting bloc was only 26% of the party. They have been telling us this for the last 4 or 5 years. That's why Joe Biden didn't just win the election with Democratic votes. He did not. He won the election with Democratic votes, as well as Republicans who said, look, we cannot vote for this guy. This is the wrong guy. If you go back and you listen to people like, oh my God, the dude, his name starts with an H. He one of the Republicans that retired. Like 4 Republicans retired as a result of this whole Trump debacle, all of this crazy foolishness. If you listen to what they said, they're telling you, please do not leave the party. Those people who think like that, they're only 15 to 20 26% of our party.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers have been out there. You can look everywhere. You can look NPR. You can look C-SPAN. You can look C-SPAN 1, C-SPAN 2. You can look. I gave you a website that I can't remember that NPR uses to pull its data.
Okay.
It's smart something.
Okay.
So the data's there.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Let's keep this thing going. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Tucson, you there?
Yeah, I'm creeping in.
Like politics. Hey, I know you don't, brother, but what this whole insurrection situation, the hearing is starting tonight, Tucson, and you've been living long. The hearing is starting tonight at 8 o'clock. It's gonna be live on 8 o'clock on pretty much all the networks except Fox. Fox is putting on one of his subsidiary stations or whatever you call it, little under stations, not being broadcast on the main platform. But you live in the amount of years that you've lived, Tucson, what do you think is going to happen behind all this thing? What is really going when they pull back the layers? Are they going to pull back all the layers? Are they going to tell the absolute truth? Or what do you think is going to happen from this?
They're going to wait till they have another Republican president. They're going to stretch it out. They'll stretch it out till then.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I mean, see, because we talk about Republican and Democrats, and I think it's been probably said already, but they switch parties to their convenience. It's all a whole manipulation. They try to control the narrative. Of the political arena. That's why I don't pay no attention to parties. I mean, I just try to get when I cast my vote, you cast your vote for the lesser evil.
Wow.
It don't make maybe some say that don't make no sense, but that's that. Tell me, I know that there are some that start off with the right intentions. But when you tie a man's hand for so long and they find out, oh, really, I just hold a position, I really can't do anything, then what do? You take his fight out of him. The president, just me. If y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but the president don't have no power. If the parties, either one of them or both of them, are not with him, how much? And we talk about how Obama didn't do it too much or nothing. But could he? And every time he tried to do something, they would either try to vote it down or fight it. And then you take another person like Trump. He could tell the people that I'm going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it, and they cheer him on. Now that's stupid. I'm just saying. I don't want to call people stupid in public,
but you'll call them stupid in private. Okay, I got you. I understand.
Then I tell them, I'm sorry, I called you stupid.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Talk to me.
Listening to what people have to say, because I don't have the romance involved. I don't need the what if, the if, maybe. No, I deal with the facts of the matter because that's what's going to count. And when the evidence, and like Kurt pointed out, the conspiracy and all these types of things, it will be there for you to see. But I'm a lot more optimistic about things when it comes to certain things. I believe in proceeding along a certain path. And so as things are uncovered, you use that information to make changes. I don't make it up or what have you, but definitely people need to be aware of, okay, how can I be a part of something that helps promote democracy? How can I be, that's why we talk about voting. That is the cornerstone of democracy, voting. Anybody against voting does not have a democracy in mind. I'm pro-democracy. I'm not pro my own feelings and actions. As for a government, I prefer a democracy. I prefer civil discourse and things of that nature, and things to be brought into their proper perspective. These people need to be dealt with just like we would deal with anybody else that would attack our government. That's my biggest issue. Why are these people not being treated like enemy combatants of the United States of America?
And that's my
especially
question.
when they have proven to do this and you have the evidence. So whatever it is, what America needs to do is say, okay, if you really don't like what's going on, you start that movement that may help someone else or be a part of another effort to change some of the laws that govern certain things. Because that's how you get it done. You have to get those people that have your interest in mind in these seats of power. Like I said, I'm happy with my representative, Hank Johnson, because Hank Johnson is usually on the forefront of more social, more social progress. And he usually does things that respond to what's going on the street. Say, for instance, when we said, hey, man, where all this military weaponry and stuff come from? When these police departments, and they shouldn't be surplus. The military shouldn't be surplusing them. So Hank Johnson gets on the bill for it. Hey, we need to stop this from happening. See, when you have a person that you can't find that no bill representing you, say, hey, I don't agree with that. Then that lets you know, hey, maybe I need to go down there and cast my vote for somebody that I agree with.
Yeah, that's good. You know? That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about right now. What is your expectation? The whole insurrection situation. The hearing is going to start tonight. So what are your expectations? What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be just a buffoon show? Is it going to be legitimate? Or are they going to bring all the facts forward? They say that they have some video that has not been released, that's going to be released tonight or as this process go on. And speaking of the process, how long, Ibrahim, do you think this process is going to take?
Well, the way things are going, it's going to take another year after they get another midterm. We get down to the election cycle. And as Rico was saying, Rico made some very important points. Yes, that I like to highlight on, right? And also your esteemed colleague there, he's made some very important points. But this has never been, and it qualifies democracy. This is a republic, right? Let's understand that democracy is like mobocracy. And matter of fact, they got new words for ethnocracy. You know, ethnocracy means that it's a democracy among a certain group of people, right? And or as we call some Arab countries, we call them a religious democracy based on people that's within a certain core. And that's what we're facing right now. And I think it's going to be more evident. And another thing, too, the C-SPAN was brought up. You understand, government, C-SPAN runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Check it out. And I tell you what's going to put with the monkey in the curb, like happened doing Combine and some other things, right, is the gun law lobbyists. The gun thing is completely blighted out TV. Just like when other things were going on, what's going over there in Ukraine blocked out TV, right? So, you know, it's going to be like one of the things that a lot of people going to be carrying it, but not 24/7. And they're going to be still talking about these gun lobbies, this poor little girl that survived by painting some blood with one of her friends and playing dead and all this kind of thing. It's going over and over again. That's the cycle, you know. So I would think there's going to be a lot of attention paid maybe at first, and then it's going to just like plan out. As soon as you get into the nuts and bolts and the details and the fine tuning and trying to readdress the law. Law is not a hard thing. Law is a living thing, right? It changes by the Congress. It changes by whosoever wants to change it to fit whatever situation they think that's going to serve to fit. That's why the Constitution has amendments. Law is not a hard, cold stuff like we want to think it is. Etched in stone, carved in granite. It's a revolving process, right? It's influenced through common law, you know, through Roman law and through old British law, through common law. The whole beliefs of the people. The common sense doesn't make sense unless it's commonly held by a group of people. And it don't have to make sense as long as a bunch of people believe in the thing. So I don't like to use the word common sense. you know.
Mhm.
But in reality, we're going to find out more and more about our government if we get in tune to it. We don't get overboard and a lot of these demonstrations of all these hypocrisies, right?
Mhm.
That black people seem to love, and a lot of black people seem to love. A lot of people that are religious people that have
Yeah.
black people down south, the most conservative black people you ever want to, including myself, most
Mhm.
conservative black people you ever want to meet. But someone's
Mhm.
got that knowledge is that, you know, everything don't fit in the same, and every size don't fit all. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That we
And,
have to look out for ourselves and let people that represent us.
and what we're gonna switch up a little bit here. We're gonna talk about something because early in the conversation it was saying about how some Democrat or actual Republicans and some Republicans are actually Democrat, and they ran on a certain ticket, whether they agree with it or not, just to get elected, if you will. And they knew that was the way that they had to run in order to get. Talk about infiltration. How strong?
Well, you know, if we get infiltration, right? But let's look at this here, right? You believe what you believe. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be Republican to be a conservative. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, Biden is the most conservative president we had since I don't know. You can go back to Ronald Reagan, Abraham. I mean, you can go back to maybe Nixon. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he's the most conservative president that we don't see in a lifetime. People, because he got Democrat mantle on it, and he has to play to one side of his party or another. He's been a Democrat all his whole life, but he's conservative. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't remember the conservative Democrats back in the 60s and 70s.
Okay,
And
hold on, Ibrahim. You go in a different direction. Hold on for a second. I understand what you're saying, but my thing is this right here. I want to talk about the infiltration and how people infiltrate certain organizations. And throughout history, there's always been somebody that came in and infiltrated a majority of all institutions, if you will, in some kind of way. They had their own agenda. They came in with their own agenda, not the agenda of the organization that they are a part of, but to try to bring forth their own agenda, on that platform, if you will. Rico, let's talk about infiltration. Rico, you there?
Yeah, I had to get off mute. Ask me that question again.
Talk about infiltration, man. There's been infiltrators in all levels of life. We talk about the Democratic, we talk about the Republican, but there's been people that actually went into those parties that did not believe in the ideology of those parties. They were just going there because of the fact they felt it would give them the grounding that they need to be elected and to get in. Infiltration, man. Let's talk about that.
Well, it's a sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, when COINTELPRO was in full effect, you had black agents that came to the NOI,
Mm-hmm.
came to the Black Panther Party, just you know, sabotage a lot of things. You know, we got that movie, the what is it called, Judas and the Black Messiah, or something like that.
Yes.
About Fred Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we actually spoke to his son one morning.
Exactly.
And that just goes to show you how they will infiltrate a movement to protect their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
A sinister agenda, in fact, you know. It sort of goes back to what I said earlier about the NRA and Ronald Reagan willing to go against gun rights and going against protecting the Second Amendment for black males, because a good guy with a gun, I expect them to apply to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you have people that have agendas to come in and sabotage your program, make you look bad, to make it seem like you are out for, you say you're illegitimate, or you're trying to deceive everybody. They pretty much try to do with Black Lives Matter to a certain extent, because Black Lives Matter, I more or less supported the slogan than the organization.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens, you know, you have people come in and try to infiltrate groups, you know, just to bring in turmoil, or just to troll sometimes. It depends on how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sort of stuck, man, because it was something I wanted to say on the last topic.
Okay.
And I know we were giving a lot of our opinions, but you know, with the hour, we've got a little hour and a half left. I was hoping that we would give people good enough reason to understand why this hearing is so important, why they should pay attention to it, and what they should be looking out for. Because if you're really paying attention to, you know, these hearings when they have them, if you're not careful, you'll catch yourself wanting to jump through the TV because they won't ask certain questions. They'll beat around the bush.
Yeah.
They'll get to a certain point, and then you'll start seeing, okay, now they're fixing to reveal something. And maybe the person answering the question to go back and say, I don't recall. and they let them get away with it. Or you might have a congressman that will come out and ask the questions that nobody else will ask. They'll bring up the pink elephant in the room for the little time that they have. And as you watch this, you have to realize, okay, they're protecting somebody. There's maybe a special interest group that was behind this whole thing, because to be honest with you, it had to be a strategy, you know. And so the reason why we should pay attention is to try to find out if there's any information given during the testimony that may lead to the logic that somebody had to put a plan together. Because if you just look at the video, there's enough logic for you to realize that somebody did have to work from the inside for that to happen. You know, after 9/11 in Oklahoma City, there was nobody supposed to be and get into that building that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Once that crowd built up down there, they were supposed to have been ready. And to be honest with you, they were ready, but they told everybody not to come. So it's, you know, I think it was the National Guard they told not to come, the police, the Capitol Police, they told it fall back or something like that. So there's so many things that happen with that lets you know that the government has been infiltrated. And if it's been infiltrated, somebody on the inside, probably some Tea Party members. You know, we got to remember, when Trump first ran, he didn't have nobody on his side. But the minute they saw that they couldn't stop that momentum, just like they saw they couldn't stop hip hop, they said, well, we'll jump in. You know, because if you can beat them, join them. We'll jump in with the momentum just so we can have our agenda get across too. So now you had two evil forces linking together, even though they were opposite, opposing each other. So he ended up going from not having their support and being dismissed to having all of their support, unconditional support. And so that's really how infiltration works.
Yeah.
You know, some people will link up and get together just if they have a common goal or a common enemy, then they will work together, even though they may have been enemies. And you know, that really probably is pretty much what happened behind that insurrection. I think if they actually do a real investigation and the public pays attention, they'll realize that there were some players behind the scenes that strategized and organized this. And we might not get to find out who they are, because they always find a way to protect those.
Exactly.
Like those that plan the plan for a new American century. It was mighty convenient that they predicted a 9/11 right before 9/11.
Exactly. And that's and hold on. I'm come right back to you. But my thing is right here. I want to encourage everybody, man. Definitely. Take if only for an hour. Please watch it. I'm gonna be glued in. I'm gonna be locked in, loaded right there, watching the whole thing. And we'll probably talk about it a little bit tomorrow about what happened. But please, y'all, if you have an opportunity, watch it. Go ahead, Curtis.
Raheem, I don't know if you remember this, but me and you was having a conversation 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it was when old buddy first won. I said, Raheem, make sure you get your popcorn. I said, make sure you get your popcorn, right?
Yeah.
But Rico is absolutely right, because I live in the state. One of the things that's probably going to come out is not only the statements that was made by my Republican governor. I live in a state where the governor is a Republican. My Republican governor had our National Guard locked in, ready to roll. He even made a statement saying that after they had waited for a while for the president to call for them to get the orders from the Pentagon, which comes down from the president, this, that, and the third, he said he started calling to say, hey, we ready. We need them orders. We need that paperwork. I can't just send them, because the governor can't just send the National Guard. He has to be ordered by the president. He can't just send the Army Reserve. The Army Reserve actually works for the president. The National Guard works for the governor. So nobody sent these orders. My governor said it on national TV. We were waiting in queue. There's also what we're going to see tonight that we glossed over, that they glossed over when they put it out. The Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, and it was another organization. The leadership had received tours of the Capitol building like the day before. A senator actually had them come into his office, and he took them on a tour of the facility. We're also going to see tonight where there's a few of the Capitol Police pop the doors and let them in. So yeah, you are right in thinking some heads finna roll. Somebody, listen, let me put it like this right here. When have we ever known our American government to have something like this go down and somebody don't take a fall? I ain't never seen it. Somebody has to take a fall. I'm telling y'all. And heads is finna roll, and I'm gonna eat my popcorn with my cheddar and my garlic butter on it, and I'm gonna get entertained tonight.
Wow. Let's go back to Captain. Let's go back to infiltration and infiltrators. Do they always exist?
You know, infiltrators, those that infiltrate, they come under a very stealth type of operation. You very seldom know the infiltrators. The infiltrators always appear to be the most zealous or patriot in any organization. You know, one of the things is very interesting, gentlemen, that we talk about that. But during the counterintelligence program under J. Edgar Hoover, you know, they infiltrated many Black organizations by pretending to be a zealot of that organization. Their job was to get into that organization, fire the people up, and lead the people into a direction that would get them arrested or put in prison. They would be the ones that say, listen, man, we need to go ahead and throw this Molotov. Let's bump all that. And they'd be the first to throw it. They're the ones who are. So if this is infiltration, then that means there were those that had got among an organization or group, and they're the ones who were more zealot in leading that group to do something that would break the law. So we know about infiltration. That is the history of the counterintelligence program on J. Edgar Hoover. They would come in Black organizations. They would be the one to incite riots. They'll be the one that would lead the charge. But they would do that because they work for the government. They're part of the government. So infiltration is very real. But you never know if they always mask or hide behind patriotism. That's the infiltrator.
Exactly. Leonard, what do you say about that? We're talking about infiltrators, man, and how they move. Do they always exist? Can you always quote unquote count on an infiltrator coming in some kind of way and trying to disrupt in the way that an infiltrator does?
You should always be prepared for that. Like I said, we welcome infiltrators because they'll find out we ain't doing nothing but doing righteous things. So you can come over here and you can pretend to be a part of this, that, or the other. But to investigate nonprofit organizations just simply doing righteous things in their community is really a waste of time. What the infiltrator you have to worry about is the one just like Captain Dennis just told you. They're actually on a mission given to them by somebody else. So that's how they're going to act and move. You know, there's somebody, you know, they jump up meeting, they always, let's do this, let's do that. You're going to do what we agree to do. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why even, like say, for instance, even organizations that have positions of leadership, you need to have a probationary period for which anybody could be in those positions. Require somebody to be with your organization at least 6 months before they start trying to move your organization. I mean, you may, and if you get to the point that you're doing something that different, you may want to even do your own background check. You can do a lot up front because one, they are going to be there because most organizations are public. They're very much public, and anybody can come to the meeting and sign up or what have you. You don't worry when you ain't doing nothing that's wrong.
Yeah.
So they come and go. They usually have a specific thing that they're after to destroy. They got a purpose, an agenda. And when you hold them down about that purpose or agenda, they'll usually disappear. But, you know, once you start doing certain work, you get used to people sitting outside of buildings watching you come and go. Like, say, for instance, it took a while for me to continue to just walk through the sheriff's departments and things like that because I didn't have no, you know, no real big love for them. But I was going to gather some facts and things for some information that we needed. But you shouldn't just assume someone is plan for it. Because, you know, you can get caught up in that whole, we've been infiltrated, this, but you wasn't doing nothing. So what difference does it make? The problem is whatever you was doing wasn't righteous enough to sustain itself.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking right now about infiltrators and how infiltrators work, man. There's plants all over the place. I'm going to Badger, then Toya with a T coming to you next. Badger, what's on your heart?
Yes, if you're paying attention, it's not hard to find one. You know, pay attention to just their actions, what they're doing, what they say. They're everywhere. You know, so man, dude, a lot of just today in general, our government's not honest. Anyone that thinks they are, you need to go see a psych.
Wow.
If they can't handle that, then therefore they're the problem. You know, seeing all the things that have been done and things that haven't been done. You know, I've gotten so tired of trying to have these conversations with people, and they're so they can be so patriarch and refuse to see what's going on. That's sickening.
Wow.
I mean, you can't tell me, like, we can go all the way to 9/11, we can go to what happened during 9/11 and beyond. If they don't want a president killed, it ain't gonna happen. If we don't want a building blown up, it's not gonna happen. If you study anything about the blueprints for Capitol Hill, being able to walk inside that building, you need some pretty fancy equipment. So it's just evidence upon evidence upon evidence upon evidence, you know. And what we have in America is great, and it can be great. However, we got to get rid of the corrupted people. And until we get rid of the corruption and the instigators and the illusionist, we're just gonna keep having conversations like this and not go anywhere.
Wow. Let's go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart, sis? Infiltrators.
Yeah, so I mean, white people doing what white people do. They always done that. How many years we know before they said they killed JFK that they did it and nobody did nothing? How many remember that the sheriff would be saying, "Now you ain't gonna kill the Negro because he looked," and they went past the sheriff and then dragged the man past the sheriff and killed him in front of the sheriff's face. We all remember that? What are we talking about here? This white people doing what white people do. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but is it not documented that that's what they did back in there?
It's not just white people in the House and Senate.
Didn't they bypass the sheriff standing right there and drag us out of houses and kill us and set us on fire? Please tell me if I'm wrong. I ain't getting no comment. Okay, so what do we mean? This is what white people do. Jim Crow laws, if you go back and look at them and read them, as foolish as they are, allow white folks to get away with stuff like this. As much as we talk about the Constitution, they was already crazy doing what the hell they wanted to do. They made that for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we is still sitting here in 2022 wondering why they got away with that. Listen, if you Google it, there were over 40 attempts on the White House. Ain't nobody make it through. One guy got shot down the street because they said he was too close. So how all these white people get up in there with what? Because white people don't want white people. So again, we having these conversations that we've been having since before JFK. We know this is what they do. We talking about the drug dealer outside selling drugs. We all know who he is, but he'll never get arrested. We talking about the drugs that get into the neighborhood that black people don't own. We don't own nothing. But oh, how do they get here? I mean, we're having the same conversation. Now what? We're gonna see the same results. Okay, some of them do take a fall, some of them don't. It ain't gonna stop the foolishness. So now what? Goes back to a comment that not only did I hear spoke the other day, but I had said some years ago. We need our own stuff. We still trying to blend in with some people that we've known are just at least the people on this line. Mm-hmm. It ain't as bad as it used to be, but it's the same foolishness we still talking about years later, and then we still talking and we still ain't made no movement. We still ain't got nothing. We still dealing with the same police. Like, come on with the jokes. It's getting done because this is the same thing that white people do and been doing since before JFK.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to Charles. Charles, good morning. Good to have you, brother. How you doing this morning?
What's up, bro? How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. We're talking about infiltrators right now. We had another conversation going earlier. Now we're talking about infiltrators and how infiltrators infiltrate certain organizations. Is that something that always happens, Charles?
I mean, if the organization is worth infiltrating, if it ain't worth infiltrating, ain't nobody gonna pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm. And what makes one worth it?
I mean, if that goes by what the opposition of the infiltrator believes. Mm-hmm. If the infiltrator's in somewhere that they have opposition, yeah, then they'll have that. But what type of organizations are we talking about? Like political organizations, business organizations? It happens all the time.
Let's go back to political organizations because you missed a part of the conversation we had earlier, and I want to get your take on this thing. This whole infiltration thing, some people call it infiltration, some people call it what they want to call it. But the hearing is starting tonight. Charles, what do you expect? What do you expect out at the end of this hearing? What do you expect?
I apologize. What hearing?
Charles, come on, man. You ain't up on the
rock. No, seriously. No, seriously. What hearing we talking about?
The January 6th situation, infiltration.
Oh.
Don't do it, Charles.
I'm sorry. I really haven't been paying attention to that joke, man. I really haven't been paying attention to that because it's a joke.
Okay, explain to me.
We already know it. We already know that.
Hold on, brother. Slow down a little bit. Explain to me because I want my listeners to understand what you're saying when you say it's a joke. What part of it
is the whole thing, man? It's not even. Oh my God! It's not even worth the money they get ready to spend.
Okay. So if
they need to concentrate on getting these gas prices down.
If somebody's actually trying to go into and I want to be clear as to what you're saying. If somebody is actually trying to go into the Capitol building of the United States of America, beating down windows, knocking on doors, walking out there saying they're hang the vice president of the United States of America. They're saying they want to hang him, find him. We're gonna hang the vice president of the United States of America, and they showed them walking up and down the hallways doing these different things, and people die. Charles, I'm trying to find the humor in that, brother.
The humor is it's all a joke. Because number one, what you just said, one person got shot. Mm-hmm. That's the only person that died. The black guy shot the white woman. That's the only person died there. Okay, we know that's a fact.
Black guy shot the white woman. Wow.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Could I talk? We had a guy that had a heart attack.
Hold on.
We had a guy who had a heart attack. We did have that. But as in violent wise, that's the only person who died. And this is who if you've ever been to the Capitol, you can't even go to the Georgia Capitol and get in and walk down the halls.
So how would they
I guess that's infiltration. I guess somebody with the FBI said I ain't had something to do with it. Because the video I sent you was the guy pointing at he was trying to get in that door, which is a 20-foot tall door. He looked up to the left and pointed at the door. So somebody had to hit a button. You can't get in there. You cannot get into the Capitol. And plus, if you ask for, and it's known now, it's a fact. And if you listen to the hearing, you'll hear it if they let it happen, because it's just something to go off of to bring people, to confuse people. If you listen to both sides and you really study both sides, you should come to the conclusion that this was a setup. And it's not even worth the hearing, because the hearing part is like, you're going to hear, if you listen to the left-wing media, which most of people does, most black people especially do, will believe that it was a big old coup, a whole bunch of people rolled up and they did all this and that. When you know the most armed people weren't even there. Now, we all know that when we sit here and talk about guns and gun violence and stuff, we know people who have, we ain't talking about no AR-15, that's small. You understand? We know people with 50 cals. We know of people with tanks or armored personal carriers. We know people with these type things. If the government knew that, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. If the government knew and were told that they needed more security and turned it down, so apparently they also believe there wasn't nothing. So how do you get into this big building, into the middle of this building, and you got people screaming, "We need help. This is our capital," and you got people with, like, even supposedly the opposition shirts on, Trump shirts, saying, "We need help. We need you to get in here and stop these people." And the Capitol Police are standing still. Now, I could pull up video about all this right now, just like you can pull up video about the other stuff that happened, because a lot of stuff happened.
Okay, hold on, Kurt. I'll call you Curtis. Charles, hold on for a minute. Charles, let me pull some more people into this conversation.
Okay,
Curtis,
cool.
Curtis, you wanted to say something, brother. What's on your heart?
You know, that is about the most ignoramus thing I've ever heard anybody say, irregardless of party. That was about the most foolish definition, or the most foolish mode to cover up. Because what the brother just told you is, he just told you it was a joke, while all at the same time telling you that in order for the people to get in, it had to come from inside. But then he said it's a joke that there's an investigation to find out, well, how did they get in? Who let them in? Who had the power to stop it? And who had the power to fight against it? But see, once again, people want to have a biased investigative eye. You can't have a biased investigative eye in this given situation. The fact that folks believe that only one person died, that is a lie, and is a smack in the face of those very same Blue Lives Matter people. It's funny how a party can stand around and talk about they all for police and Blue Lives Matter, police lives matter. Well, how many of them lives mattered when they was getting beat up? See, there's certain things about this thing, man, that certain people in certain parties don't want to face. Even when you talk about infiltration, there are people that will deny that the Republican Party was infiltrated back during the Civil Rights Movement, right before, during Jim Crow. Raheem, we know exactly one of the main infiltrators to the Republican Party. We had to deal with it because if you remember, Raheem, when we was in South Carolina, they fought tooth and nail not to put that man's daughter's name on that memorial.
Yeah.
We know who he is. It was 5 of them that infiltrated the Republican Party. The Republican Party that you have today is not the same party it was during the abolitionist movement, during the Emancipation Proclamation, during Jim Crow, during the Black Coat. It is not the same Republican Party, but they don't want to admit that, but that's okay. But to sit here on the phone and diminish what happened because nobody was most of the people that died didn't die right there on the spot. It's foolish and it's a lie and it's disrespectful to all of those families who lost somebody. It's just like a boxer. I'll end it with this. A boxer gets in the ring. He has a fight. He gets beat up. He does not die in the ring. He leaves. They take him to the hospital. He spends 2 or 3 days in the hospital, and then he dies of traumatic brain disorder. What you saying? Are you telling me that he didn't die as a result of the boxing match?
Wow. Let's keep this thing going. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, I'm just listening. I like you can keep going because one I like to talk about, what Kurt is talking about. Like there are certain things that I just don't waste time on, and I've told anybody before, foolishness. I don't do it. You said it did. Okay, it didn't happen. What? It don't make just pass on by. Come on, man. Go and get this time to somebody else. Go on to somebody else, Raheem.
So how would you respond? And I'm gonna stay with you just for a second. But how do you respond to it was a joke?
Why don't you die and go to hell? That's how I respond.
Wow.
I told you, but didn't I just tell you to move on? Didn't I just tell you to move on, Raheem? I'm not gonna hold my tongue. I am not gonna hold my tongue when it comes to outright foolishness and ignorance on the part of a black man. Not.
Charles, you wanted to say something? Hold on. Charles, hold on. I think hold on.
So let's get
hold
on.
Hold on. Everybody, hold on.
Let's get raw.
Hold on. Gather ourselves. Let's gather ourselves. Okay, let's gather.
Most of them. Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm not going to take too much of what Curtis says heavy because he's the same dude who said that Dr. Carson wasn't in the room during the operation. So I'm not going to take too much of that.
Hold on.
So could you cut him off? Could you cut him off?
Curtis.
He got that from a comedian. You telling me the biggest, most important white-owned hospital is gonna let this dude take the credit? All right, you make no sense. You're ignorant. All right, Ashley Babbitt died as Air Force.
We're not gonna do that either. We're not gonna.
Oh, bro, somebody just told. Man, shut up.
Who you
somebody
talking
just told me to go to hell. Y'all go.
Hold on, you don't lost your mind. You don't lost your mind now.
But you got to be fair, man.
Huh?
You got to be fair, man. I don't agree with Charles. I don't agree with Charles all the time, but you got to be fair.
What you mean fair?
Hold on.
He just said that man dying and going to hell. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Charles, what was just thrown at Charles was just as disrespectful. And I don't agree with Charles all the time.
With that, man.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, if he could take it, he could give it.
Okay, go ahead.
It got to be fair.
Charles, you still got the floor.
Go ahead, Charles.
Man, y'all, boy.
Hold on. We're not gonna do that, Charles.
I know, but you're doing it though.
Make your point, brother.
Kevin Greason died of a heart attack, collapsing on the sidewalk. He died of a heart attack. Okay. Roseanne Boylan, she appeared to have been crushed. It says appeared. In the stampede, fellow rioters. Okay. Benjamin Phillips, the founder of pro-Trump website called Trump something, died of a stroke. These are all the people that supposedly only one person died there. The other guy who died with a heart attack died, like Curtis said, he did die at the hospital from the heart attack. The only person died there was Ashley. Nobody here who died as a police-wise. Hold on, let me see. Officer Brian of the Capitol Police was attacked by a mob. He died on January the 7th. And Officer Jeffrey Smith killed himself. He killed himself. You get what I'm saying? Officer Howard it's not funny, and I'm not laughing that he killed himself. I'm laughing that you all think that he died because of the attack. Officer Howard Lynn, whatever, died by suicide days after also. This is what they say. Now, as for back in the blue, when you put one person, and this is funny how Democrats do, back the blue. I back the blue when they're right. I don't back anybody when they're wrong. Now, as for somebody not understanding that it's a joke and this whole thing is a setup for people to be divided and fall into the division, you can go to hell too and die. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, my thing is this right here.
You understand?
First of all, hold on.
You can hold your breath for 30 minutes and you'll feel better.
Charles,
you know what I'm saying?
My thing is this right here. Is that what was just said on both sides? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. You know, die and go to hell and all this stuff. We're not gonna do that on either side. We're not gonna do that. That's not what we do. That's not who we are. So we're gonna kill that right now. That's not who we are. That's not what we represent. That's not what we represent at all. So we're gonna get away from that. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Huh?
I'll go see if I can.
Cassandra, you there?
I'll go see if I can find one. Drop that off.
Okay, I hear another conversation going on. Everybody mute your line. Everybody mute your line. I got another conversation going on that I'm hearing in the background. Cassandra, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, you know, maybe I'm crazy because I watch people march. I watch people climb up on walls. I mean, if this was nothing but a joke and we just all crazy, we didn't see what we saw. None of us saw what we saw except those that saw it in a totally different way than 80, 90% of the people. And I know what group didn't see it that way. Oh Lord. Okay. So it was a joke and it wasn't no big deal. But these people were climbing in walls, breaking down windows, taking objects and throwing them at police officers, crushing people in the crowd. Even if a person was crushing, why the hell was the crowd doing that?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Why were they acting in such a crazy manner if it was no big deal? It's just a joke. They were just some boys having fun, some boys and girls having fun. Why couldn't they just go in there and do what they want? They paid for it. That's what they said. They paid for it. If that was black people doing that, the whole picture would have been different. And ain't a Negro on here or a white person gonna tell me that it would not have been a different story if black people did some stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop being stupid.
Wow.
I'm talking everybody that might say anything different. People died as a result of what happened. How is that not to be counted? They're accountable for that. If you were not tearing down stuff and breaking up stuff and rioting, because that's really what you was doing, rioting, black people try that, it would have been a whole nother story.
Wow.
And then you're trying to reason why, they should have done that to the black people, the other side. They should have done that to the black people because they was breaking stuff and they was, every time a black person do, and any riot come up in a situation, they want them to just throw the book and kill them and everything else. But a group of white people do it and you find justification. Help me with that. Get away from me with that stupid shit.
Okay, now we are very emotional this morning. We're very yes sir. Go ahead, Tucson.
That's why I don't we being infiltrated right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what I said. It's a higher thing than we see. We're talking about Republicans, Democrat, white, black, all of that kind of stuff. And we got one adversary that'll separate you in a minute. They're doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't got nothing else to say.
Good deal. Captain, talk to me, Captain. What are you hearing?
Well, my dear family, I'm so in love with us, who's striving to live a righteous life, who's striving to bring some sense of civility to a world that has gone mad. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate every one of you who believe in America. And if you believe in America, whether she's right or wrong, and you count yourself as one who is an American, then I am not one to criticize what you believe of your government. I mean, it is what it is. I just hope that as we get a chance to voice our opinion, that we don't resort to baby language.
Yes.
That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called when we cussing and talking. That's baby language. You all are so above that, Curtis. You are above that, Leonard. They asked you your opinion. I appreciate that. You was honest. You was trying to stay away from that, and Raheem just took you there. I'm gonna blame that one on Raheem.
Oh Lord.
But nevertheless, no, he was trying to tell you, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I mean, I got to give him that. I don't think Curtis should have been reduced to such baby language. If that's his opinion, respect it. It may not be sound and sane to you, but when we go to call you stupid, you crazy, you go to hell with a gasoline jacket on. Come on, man. This is a dignified Christian station. You got people listening to us. They come on this station because they love the conversation. But when we reduce it to baby language, we're going to lose the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about ready to get off because I didn't come in for that. Respect each other. And even if you think it, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
We all are not perfect in our opinion, but we do have that right. And be very, Brother Curtis, and be very conscious to those people who lost their lives. You may not even thought about that.
You about Charles. People, about Charles.
I mean, Brother Charles, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you may not even thought about that. But you offended people who may be listening and we're family members, whatever. I don't think you meant it purposely. But we so loose in our opinion. Brother Raheem give us the respect to come on this Christian show. He give us that respect. And he really don't involve himself in cutting in on you every now and then. But Brother Raheem, you have to manage this. Mm-hmm. And when it gets to this kind of like, cut him off. And then you apologize as the man who hosts us on this show. It does not reflect you and this station because it goes beyond us. Mm-hmm. But I love everybody. Please, family, don't disappoint the people that's listening to us by reducing to baby language. Mm-hmm. Keep it dignified because we brothers and sisters at the end. Yeah. That's all I got to say there, brother.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm sitting here just listening to how everything's going down and going, good job, y'all. Y'all doing exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like, you know, we come from different perspectives. We come from different views, you know, and, you know, I've talked to Charles, I've talked to Leonard, I've talked to Captain Dennis and everything else. And everyone has their point. Everyone has their point of view. Everyone has their version of respect and what they tolerate and what they don't tolerate. You know, and you know, I know Leonard well enough to go if he's saying he doesn't want to comment and you push him for his comment, you better be ready for it. I'm the same way. If I tell you I don't ask me to comment. That's mm-hmm. probably a good idea not to. Mm-hmm. So it's to me, things are simple. Our government is full of lies and illusions. Mm-hmm. There are people of every race in the House and Senate. There are bills being done and not being done. The January 6th thing, some people might say it's a joke because of whatever, and some people are going to get offended by it because, you know, one of the things I'm always curious about is why would the police officers be committing suicide over this? Did they actually commit suicide, or were they taken out because so that way they couldn't speak out? Mm-hmm. You know, wow. So it's there's so much involved. As always, it's our United States government. We
Good.
know that they lied to us. You know, here's quotation marks. You know, the Democrats that are trying to fight the gas gouging, and the Republicans are saying no. January 6th, you got one side saying this and one side saying that, and so on and so on, and all these other things. So if our government isn't going to release every single video unedited or anything, we're never going to know the truth. As long as they're editing things and limiting what we are allowed to see or hear, expect them to do this stuff. That's what they do.
Good deal. Good deal. You got to keep it moving there, Badger. Let me go to our VP. VP, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Hey, doing good, man. A little heated around here this morning. It's a little hot. It's a little hot this morning.
Yeah.
But VP, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm not sure what triggered what, or I think Captain Leonard summed it up pretty good. But what I wouldn't have summed it up that well, but if you came to me before him, I would probably have said the same thing. But I know I don't know what started what, and I hope I ain't, pulling a Band-Aid off, but my thoughts with the riot thing in general, and that's where Badger, I think, is hitting it on the head when they say the dividedness, that regardless if you're black or white or Native American or another race, then if you say you're American, you should be offended. It's not a color thing. If you're saying this is about a nation of people who's united under God, we all know that there's character flaws in this government. We all know that deception is leading the way. That's the only reason it's thriving the way it is. It's one of those things where a person is going to have their opinion and their stance on it. Just like I haven't watched the NFL or the NBA in 2 years, because my stance is, once you said shut up and dribble over a stance, then that showed me what you thought about these people and the character of these people, regardless of what they're doing for this nation. Because regardless of if they're just shooting balls in a hoop or running it down a football field, they're $1 billion revenues. And that they take that to every inch of this country. So they're helping you thrive in the media when it's just your opinion. And the only reason you're there because people like opinion, because it gets them bantered up. It gives them something to feel important about. And it takes you off of, the ultimate goal of your purpose of what you're supposed to be doing. As long as you can gas yourself, then, and you sound like you're right, you stop listening, you close your ears off. And there's nothing to learn from you anymore. Once you get to a point where your emotions are in there, you should understand that people are cut off to hearing what you probably have to say.
Exactly.
You calm back down and at least want to hear their side of whatever the story is, or facts on how they see it coming. It'll never get anywhere. And that's why we're in this spin with the January 6th thing, and why the Proud Boys don't feel like it's a joke and that they were getting stomped on. But then you have 80% of the rest of the nation who think that was a act of terrorism if it was another nation that came in and did that. If the Mexicans had came up and jumped our walls during the most important nominational event in our nation at the time, that's not a joke. That's a threat to the society and how it's going right now. Just how Captain Leonard put it very, very eloquently, that's baby talk. Cap Dennis. This nation that you think you're about to lose, you think you're about to lose, then do it the right way, the way that you said you wanted this nation done, not the way that you say you paint other people in the media as thugs and bandits and robbers. Because to us, it's like you're trying to rob the freedom that we also fought for too.
Good deal. You got to keep it moving, VP. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to Ibrahim. He wanted to say something. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh yeah, the character assassinations were very inappropriate. You know, if we're not allowed to have thinking, I thought Brother Charles was running in a situation in real life as a running, you know. And I thought he was passionate on what he believed in. So
okay, your phone is breaking up real bad. Ibrahim, your phone is breaking up real bad. Yes, sir.
Okay. How about now?
It's still like it's sounding bubbly. Does it sound the same way to y'all? Are y'all hearing what I'm hearing, or is it just my end?
I was hearing it.
Yeah,
a little low.
Yeah, it's low and it's real bubbly. Let me fix that for me, Ibrahim. I'm gonna come back to you, Rico. What's on your heart, brother?
Okay, good.
Man, I appreciate Captain Dennis for coming in and saying what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard behaviors,
hold
man.
on,
I heard triggers and I heard prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this from this point forward because I listen to people. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't disagree. I mean, I don't agree. But if you ever said anything that was right to me, you have earned the right for me to at least listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he said one word. He said joke. But we have all said in so many instances, this judicial system is a joke. This government is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping maybe he meant the congressional hearing could possibly be a joke, not for the fact that they was investigating something that wasn't worthwhile listening to, but for the fact that there was an infiltration that he said.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest problem, I ain't gonna say it was a huge problem, but I saw where the prejudice comes in at. And see, this is what I want to ask Charles to do from now on. Start having these conversations without some unconditional loyalties. That way you don't have a prejudgment about what you hear. Because he did contradict himself. If he's saying that the insurrection, that it's the fact that it's considered an insurrection and they're going through this process is a joke,
hey Rico,
then he's wrong.
Rico, he just posted in the chat box. He said the whole hearing is a joke.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was saying the insurrection itself was a joke, because I think he looks at it. I can't speak for him, but it's an offense,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about the offense. But to me, that may have been taken out of context. But my problem came in when he said left-wing media is going to say this and that. But see, now that's where you start bringing in the bias again, and you take it away from the fact of the matter that it didn't matter who did it. It was a violation. It was an offense, whether they had been black or white. There's something that's supposed to be done about this. Whether they were Republican or Democrat, there was something that was supposed to be done about this. But sometimes when we are prejudiced, we still find some type of way to deflect and defend the people that we have our loyalties to. So I think that was my biggest issue with it. But to be honest with you, I think the hearing is going to be a joke too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the George Zimmerman hearing trial.
So you don't think anything's going to come out of it?
I'm pessimistic. Obviously, I must think that it's going to turn into a joke, just like what else in history has turned into a joke and we didn't get justice from. I mean, we've been speaking this all morning.
Mm-hmm.
And in the entire conversation, we've been saying, man, they take it through the judicial system and it's a double standard, and these people get a slap on the wrist and they get up. So if they get a slap on the wrist when they're not supposed to, the judicial system is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, we're going through this process again. Is it going to be a joke, or are we going to listen? Are we going to let one word take us to a whole nother left field, and then it trickle down into something and get distracted from what we're supposed to be talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're supposed to be talking about infiltration.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Donald hit it on the head. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he said it, because we have been infiltrated.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing about infiltration is? The only way it can work is with participation. The problem is who is the face that's participating. Now, you know what? We've been infiltrated on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the Lion Latina?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just embraced her and just loved and adored her. She was running around here accusing everybody of everything under the sun. He looking at my daughter. He tried to touch me. He a woman beater. She smoked weed. He mean to me. He cussing me out in front of my. She lying on everybody. Everybody loved her. They even changed their vernacular. Black and brown, black and brown, black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
We got infiltrated. We embraced them. We allowed that participation of that infiltrator. But then sometimes we don't understand that is a tactic that has always worked, has always been utilized. So now when it comes to voting, once we see this trial, this court hearing, this congressional hearing on the insurrection, and we start listening, we start realizing that some of these congressmen are trying to make it a bipartisan issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these congressmen are trying to avoid the elephant in the room. And some of them are pushing the issue and they're getting pushback. Then we start using that vote, because that vote not only is participation, but it is our way to infiltrate a system that wasn't meant for us. And I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't a country or continent or a system that ain't never failed because somebody infiltrated it.
Mm-hmm.
Iraq failed through infiltration. Look, the CIA has infiltrated and overturned many governments by infiltrating using their own people.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
From Africa to Haiti, you name it, the government has infiltrated and overthrown governments with coups supported by the FBI and CIA and government, and in private sector.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talk about organizations, man, and societies, and, some of these organizations are public. And the public organizations normally invite participation from people, but they have to be very careful who those people are, because they are all secret organizations too. They don't allow too much people to participate with them because they have their agendas.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the ones that will go around with
Mm-hmm.
the power,
Mm-hmm.
monitor you, hire people, finance another movement, and then infiltrate your system.
Mm-hmm.
But we were infiltrated on here.
Exactly.
I had infiltrated so much that I had black women and black men turn on me and had feelings about me based off what this woman said, and she wasn't even one of us.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, first, let me say, Rico just said exactly what I was trying to say, and maybe my words were, maybe the way that I laid my words out, I didn't do it properly.
Hey, Curtis, talk directly to your phone. You're a little bit low, brother. You're a little bit low.
Rico just said exactly what I was trying to say the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I didn't word it right, and for that I apologize. But I am also one to understand that when my elder has put me in my place, then I have a task and a job to say, I apologize. So if what I said to Brother Charles disrespected him in any kind of way as a man, I apologize to you, brother.
Go ahead, Curtis. Go ahead, Curtis.
But I also want to say this, and Cap might be able to follow me up with this, because Cap has been in those circles. I am one of the only people on this panel that's from Baltimore. I am one of the only people on this panel that's from Baltimore. I have a Baltimorean brother who calls in every once in a while. I don't know him, or at least I don't know him from hearing his voice. We here in Baltimore know the truth. So when you put out some information and then you say, you discredit my information, and then you put it out and you say, in your discredit, you say it was the largest white-owned facility in the United States, and then you say I got it from a comedian. Dick Gregory was the only one that was willing to come out and tell the truth. The city, the entire city, especially the black folk, fully knew and understood. My mama told me, my daddy told me, my grandmama told me. If you look at the movie, what's that movie with the rapper? Oh my God, probably one of the best lyricists ever. Oh man, what is his name? Got the little beard. Oh man. If you look at the movie Something the Lord Made, the guy, God bless.
Most Def.
Most Def. It's Most Def, and the guy who was the villain in Die Hard 1. If you look at that movie, Carson came after that doctor. Carson had the same situation going on where he was not allowed to be in the room. Dick Gregory was the only one that was not scared to come out and tell the public. But it was something that was talked about in this city the whole while.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think this city, if it's one thing about Baltimore, period, when we have an upright person that is running, I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party, if he's upright, this city is the first group of people that will jump behind their candidate. Why do you think nobody jumped behind him? Because we all know the story. We all know the story about him trying to stab his mama. We all know that story about him mistreating women. We all know that story because we lived it. We lived that experience here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
wrap it
try
up for
to
me, Curtis.
discredit somebody, I'm ready to transform back into my original self. When you try and discredit someone,
mm-hmm.
discredit someone with your real facts, not your biased opinions and your biased readings. When I throw information out there, I throw it out there from the perspective of being a Democrat and understanding Republican standards. I was a supporter of Reagan for a minute, and I don't mind saying it. There are Democrats who are conservative Democrats. Mm-hmm. I am one of them.
Good day. Stay right there, Curtis. Stay right there. Got to keep it moving, brother. Hold on. Keep your thought. Toya with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Can't hear you.
You caught me in the middle of typing, boy. I was on the move, man. Listen, stop. So I believe that we allow the devil this same kind of energy we using, where we don't know how to hold our composure with some ways, not go overboard, is the same kind of energy people use to force themselves into war. And that's where we got to stop. First of all, we got to respect each other gangster. And we want to talk about respect. We constantly disrespect Raheem on his own show, a platform that he allowed us to get on. And when we hear his voice, we should be willing to be quiet. But instead, we'll talk over the host as if we don't know no better. But either you don't know or you don't care. And as adults, if you've been allowed to get away with behavior like this as a child, that's why we do it as an adult. And we do a lot of things we should not do. And this is why we don't have a peaceful America. Because nobody knows how to play to the sidelines sometimes. Everybody want to be the king, but we don't want to do the work. We don't want to eat last, even though we the king. We don't want to be responsible for everybody to eat, but we want to be the king. But no, I just want to eat for me and my family. Like, yo, there's so much going on this platform right now. And for me to be a female who was raised by a king, that I feel like my king taught me the right way. When I get in the midst of other kings, and this right here, it makes me upset to see. That's why I don't follow. I can be on here saying a lot of things, speaking my mind as a woman about you kings. But God is teaching me how to keep my composure, Toya, because sometimes when you go off, you're not effective. And I want to be effective because I know I love people. To my core, I don't have to know you. But man, oh man, oh man, when I get in the mix of kings, I'm 45. When I get in the mix of kings, and this is how we acting over a conversation, I feel like that's why the Black community is where they are. I admire the Muslim discipline that they have and how they work together, and they forfeit their right to do what they want and subdue to the discipline of trying to do the right thing. And it's phenomenal. I ain't with all that covering myself up. I'm still gonna me too. So I feel you, Charles. So I ain't gonna surrender to that kind of discipline. But boy, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop. We have to. We are at an age, and we all are on here that come from occupations where when we clock in and punch a clock, we know how we got to act like we got some sense for so-called the white man. So you mean to tell me in the midst of each other, we don't know how to have a decent, respectful conversation? We out of order. And until we learn that, we ain't gonna never get nothing else fixed.
Mm-hmm. Cassandra?
Yeah, I'm all for all of that. It's everything sounds great. I love it. But Mike, this is just me. When the Bible says be angry and sin not, it's certain things that it pisses me off to hear people say certain things. And yeah, I'm gonna react to it.
You there, Raheem? You froze up.
Oh, we froze.
He must not be there.
He froze up.
Oh, the devil. See how the devil do?
Well, it
Oh,
happens.
yeah?
It happens a lot.
I love what you said.
Yeah, she cracked me up just now. To my, she ain't gonna cover herself up.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I know it.
Hey, wait a minute. I got something to say.
Go ahead,
to say
Ibrahim.
about that. Now, come on.
I mean, go ahead,
It's
Captain.
Cap D. Sister, I mean, don't let that be. No, you don't have to cover yourself. That's not a requirement. It's just that if you got one of them shapely Coca-Cola bottles, you'll drive men crazy. So in order for us to stay sane, we got to sometimes cover up that drives us crazy.
Or either wear a blindfold, right?
Oh, yeah, wear a blind. That's all that is. But we love your spirit.
I pledge for the blindfold.
You already a Muslim. You already a Muslim. Don't even know it. So we ain't gonna do this. All right?
She got. Is Rico on? Rico might be attached.
Line.
So he attached to their line. All right. Well, you know, let me tell you something real
off
quick.
my chest.
Go ahead, Badger.
This whole Republican Democrat nonsense.
And I wanted to say something about that too, but go ahead.
Why? Why you let it allow people to get in such heated discussions when the focus should be on how it's affected the human race, us as people?
Correct.
It doesn't matter who's Democrat and who's Republican. Quit being hateful to one another. Just because you align with someone different, it don't matter. The people in power don't want us to get along, and as long as you keep acting that way, they're winning.
Yeah,
that's true. I agree with you. But let me tell you how I think about this, man. And it's not really the Republican. Okay.
Hold on.
Raheem,
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I like how y'all kept that going, man. And and y'all talking about putting blindfolds on, man. I'm like, Lord.
Yeah, ain't like putting no blindfold on. I'm trying to, we want to see. What you talking about?
No. Wait.
No, we about Cap. What Cap was saying.
Charles the kind of guy who had a blindfold on. He had opened it up one eye. He had one eye looking out. You know, he ain't gonna play.
Exactly.
You ain't gonna play
Cap,
fair.
we peeking right. We peeking through the blindfold.
Yeah, you peeking through the blindfold.
Cap,
talking about you spied Mecca.
I spy with my one eye.
Exactly. Let me go back.
Crazy.
Andrew, she was actually making a point, and we got disconnected. And I appreciate how y'all kept the thing going until I got back, man. Thank y'all for that.
Hey, Raheem, so when the phone go down,
what's on your heart? Cassandra?
No, you know.
No.
I said what I wanted to say, because I do the work, passionate about the thing. Then I'm sorry for those like the way I deliver. I'm not going to change who I am, appease anybody, and a few things that get angry.
Hey, Cassandra, Cassandra, you're breaking up real bad, Cassandra. It's real chalky. It's choppy. So let me come back to you because it's real choppy right now. Maybe it's our connection. We did the reconnection, but yeah, we definitely gotta get your connection a little better. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Leonard? I'm just listening to various perspectives as it relates to what you were. I'm not sure what the point actually was, what you're trying to get to, but everybody has their opinion, and I didn't really. I didn't know about why people got excited or aggressive with one another, but do understand me. I meant exactly what I said.
Okay, hold on. Let's stay right
and
there.
I have to respect that because I mean what I said too.
I don't remember saying
Wait,
anything to Charles or anything like that. But
okay,
so whatever happened, I'm just listening. Now I guess someone got offended by what Kurt said to Charles or what have you.
Okay, we're having a real issue with for me just for a second as I log out and log back in, because I think we're having an issue with the connection with the sound right now because everybody is a little choppy. So y'all take it on. As a matter of fact, Captain.
Yes.
Talk to us, brother. Talk to I'm going to log out and log back in just to make sure we get our connection back proper. So talk to us for a second until I get back.
Oh man,
and call on.
You gonna give me the mic? Okay.
You got the mic, Captain.
I got. Let me say this. Man, that dude. Hey, you remember the man gave you the title Captain Leonard? I can see why he now call you Captain Leonard. You know, I mean, let me say this, family. The beautiful thing is that we can agree and not become disagreeable. I thank you, brother Curtis, for your apology. That it takes to me a big man to apologize. It don't take a whole lot to apologize. You can't tell me if you offend me. You may not think it. If I say, man, you offended me, and you don't even think you offended me, then out of the respect, if I offend you, but God forget, that was not my motive. We can't come with an apology, and then brother Curtis, then you tear the Band-Aid off and then go back at the man about what he said, because that could open up another can of worms. Now you're gonna have Brother Charles have to respond to that. So when we apologize, we leave it there. And let people think what they think. Sometimes I used to be taught, we teach this, I teach the soldiers. You know, less is best. The less you talk, the better off you are. Sometimes when we talk, we give people a door into our thinking. It's better that people think you're a killer than to think you're a... I heard the minister says, if somebody think you're a fool, don't open up your mouth and remove all doubt. Sometimes that's what we do, family. Let me think about you in the high esteem that Captain Dennis think about Cassandra, Sister Toya, Brother Charles, Brother Curtis, Brother Rico, Brother Tucson, Brother Ibrahim. I got y'all in this high esteem in my mind. Don't open up your mouth and say something that make me look at you like, oh, my man, a little touch. He ain't working with all of them. I don't ever want to draw that picture with anybody, because Raheem, he give us this platform. And let me say this to you, I'm going to be straight up with y'all. See, y'all talk about Brother Raheem, but how many of y'all bought a ticket at his event? If you didn't even go, you didn't even say, Brother Raheem, I'm not going to be able to make it, Raheem. I'm paying for 2 tickets. Maybe you can find somebody to give it to. Some of you didn't even do that. No, don't. You don't have to say who you are. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm showing you how we get false accolations. And he give us an opportunity, but he had an event. And I asked him, because I bought 5 tickets. But I'm saying, come on, man. Stop trying to perpetrate being one way when in reality you're another way. Allah, God, I'm going to use God. Forgive me saying Allah. And I'm not going to say forgive me, but I don't want nobody to get caught up on the word Allah, which means God.
Okay,
God
back in, everybody. Y'all
hold on. Expose
let me get myself back in here. Hold on 1 second.
You back in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Me out. I think they get ready to put
you don't need no bell. You all right. You're doing good.
Thank you. But I love y'all. And let's keep it 100. We're a family.
Hey, love you.
We're a Christian family.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it. I'm a Christian too. And I want you to know people are come on this show. This is probably one of the baddest shows I'm going to say I know of, I've been on. I get on every morning because I love this conversation. I look forward to talking to Leonard. I look forward, even Badger, me and him had an offline. Even my man, Brother Charles, we had an offline. I admire y'all. It may not mean nothing to y'all, but it means a whole lot to me because I don't say that to everybody. To get Captain D on your show, please. I mean, I could be on a lot of them, but I love this, and I love Brother Raheem. Thank you, Brother Raheem, for giving me this opportunity, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, definitely love you as well, sir. We're gonna keep this thing going. We got a few more minutes, man. For whatever reason, man, that enemy don't want this conversation to go forward. I don't know what's about to come, but something is coming, man, because he keep kicking me out, man. I can't hear people talk, and all kind of stuff is going on. But we definitely gonna get there. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, it's kind of like I was saying earlier. You know, almost every time we end up having these conversations, it ends up being like people taking each other wrong, saying hateful things to one another. You know, and you know, with me having white skin and also being part Native American, you know, I know how much this government lies and uses tools to separate us, and there's systematic racism, and I see all that. I work hard to make sure other people are aware of it.
Yeah. Good deal. Y'all was saying something earlier about the Democratic and I'm sorry, Badger. Will you finish, brother? Go ahead, finish. You best. Go ahead, finish your thought, brother.
I'm trying to. I get really passionate on this because I've grown so tired of separation. I want to see us as human beings that bleed red to come together, acknowledge the problems, and get in the people that are for the people. I don't care who's a Republican and who's a Democrat or a liberal or 50 other different labels for some politic. You know, I think someone's classified me as a socialist before, and I'm like, it's stupid. It's stupid to call someone black. It's stupid to call someone white. We are human beings that all came from the same source. Why are we hating one another?
Exactly. That's good. The great place for me to move on from that. Let me go to who was I about to go to? I was about to go to somebody. I can't remember who it was, but let me do this right here. Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart? Rico, come to you next, brother. Toussaint, what's on your heart?
Thank you so much.
Oh, Lord.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I try to keep my, you know what I've learned? If you let it'll go away. So the thing about it is that we are a unit, a healthy unit of people. This is different beliefs, different priorities, and that's what makes this unique and good, really. Even when we have our moments, I like our moments. I'd be like, shoot, here we are, doggone it. Because what the shows even the adversary is that we can mend and heal. That's what we do. At the end results, we mend and heal.
Yeah.
I could care less about a political statement. I don't even watch I don't even watch the news because it's not a waste of my time. But I've been here for just a little while.
A few minutes.
And life has a way of going full circle.
That's good.
What we have seen, we're going to see again. Somebody's controlling the narrative, and don't play like boo-boo and fool like you believe them. We can only be a good us. It changes with one person trying to make a difference.
Wow.
The thing about it is, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Rico, do we control the music we dance to?
before we walk. But if you're careful and pay attention, like I was saying, if you pay attention to that hearing tonight and in the days to come, days to come, follow and go along with the you'll catch yourself having questions while the rest of them don't ask. Some information being left out, and it seems like they're cool with not knowing that information. So I think about that, man, and realize that, to be honest with you, we don't, because look, it was a few words said, and we went away from infiltration. So we danced to the tune of somebody else's song.
Exactly.
Somebody else came in and changed the song.
Yep.
And then everything went sideways.
Yep.
And that's how easy it happened. We talk about distraction all the time. And the killing part is we are crazy, or I'm not gonna say crazy, we are quick to assume. Because when Charles first came on, you asked him what did he think about, and he told you he didn't know about it. And I don't even know if it didn't sound like you were joking. It sounded like you were like, oh man, he come with this mess again.
Yeah.
He may have been telling the truth, because I didn't know it either. Until you said something. So sometimes you have to give people and sometimes you have to not assume that and listen before you start analyzing and sort of trying to understand what the scenario is, because I think that went a little fast right there. I really do believe so much the past few weeks. So that's out of tune we can be if we aren't careful. And that's how it happens on this platform. A long time ago, Raheem, I came on, and when you finally, y'all stopped looking at me, y'all, I know that was the line Latina used to say. I told you that I felt like the platform was a little out of order. For some reason, some people felt like they could just barge in when they got ready, and like I needed to do that. So I just held the phone, and so point in time, straight, man. And get back on, they would still be talking. I'm like, wow, hold up, 9 minutes. And they just finished talking 2 people ago, and they back in again. There's an order. There's a consideration for other people. There's a thing called respect. And even though we respect the next person, to the point where we don't disrespect them. Now, sometimes you have to put your foot down. Hopefully we would be this passionate once again towards more important issues. But we all still have to be, we have to make sure that we take the time to listen and don't let just one word that we didn't hear come from an unfavorable person make us think that person is fixing to go in the opposite direction, because the man really did say, I think there was an infiltration. It was a setup. Now, left-wing media might say it was a coup. Right-wing media might, it's a protest. Either way it goes, with an infiltration. And somewhere there needs to be a solution or an organized in the pieces of the puzzle in place that shows that somebody had to be playing an inside part for this to happen the way it did. Somebody had to make a decision to say, well, you know what? Since 9/11, everything has been so secure, and we've been knocking people off at the White House, but you telling me that this many people can come up through here and do what they did? So, I mean, we got away from the topic, but, the thing what you said is absolutely correct. I've seen videos and tapes of us, and of all of us on this panel speaking in different places, doing it the correct civilly. And for some reason on this platform, it seemed like everything go out the door. You know what I'm saying? And Raheem told me, he was like, man, you know what? You just got to butt in and get in. Man, I don't want to do that. They got to the point to where I had to start doing it. So now I find myself being rude. And I don't feel comfortable doing it, just barging in sometimes, even though it's hard for me to hold in what I want to say. Even so, sometimes I want to amen and cheerlead. Amen. I want to do that sometimes too, but really and truly, that is out of order. Some places we go, some events we go to, we do not speak out like that. We stay in order of what the standard is that they expect. But for some reason, when we get around our own, it doesn't take but comfortable and start doing what we want to do.
Exactly. Wow. What's on your heart, brother?
I'm just listening, Raheem. You know, I serve at your pleasure.
Good deal. Captain D, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, that brother Leonard, man, he sure know what to say. I serve at your boy, brother Leonard. My God, I'm gonna take a page out your book. Let me say this, and I like what Brother Rico said. He absolutely right. You know, we have to stay in order. That's the principle of my life in the nation, is to stay in order. Maintain your discipline. We're taught in the nation to follow the order out, even if you disagree with it. That's a heck of a thing. Somebody give you an order, and you are told to follow it out, even if you disagree with it. And after you do it, then we discuss it. But there's one addendum attached to that. And that addendum is follow out the order as long as it does not conflict with your religion. If somebody tell you to do something and it does not conflict, that's why we respect law enforcement. When they pull it, we follow their orders. As long as what he's trying to tell me does not conflict with our belief. So we have to be able to practice that. And I like to say this, we all serve at the pleasure of Brother Raheem too, because he gives us a question and he gives us an opportunity to hear our opinion. You got children that don't want to hear what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? So we thank you, dear brother. If I've been out of order, I'm going to be mad and I'm saying, please forgive me. I do butt in and have to bear witness when I hear a good word. When brother said what he said, I wanted to let him know I appreciate Brother Charles. And when he go, I said, go ahead, Charles, because to me that's admirable. But even that, as Brother Rico said, that's out of order. And I'm going to learn, Brother Rico, to stay in order because I preach it. So we all have to practice that. And when I said about Sister Cassandra and Sister, man, I didn't know these two sisters until I got on there. And to hear their testimony, man, this is an admiration I have for these two sisters that, man, look at here, boy, I was going there with a gasoline underwear on to protect these two women. But the beauty is, I thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful family. This is our family, y'all. We family. We siblings. We gonna argue every now and then. But if somebody come against this family, we gonna stand toe to toe, right? Shoot, please. Don't get it twisted. So thank you, Brother Raheem. Thank you, Jim. Thank y'all, family, for accepting me as a family member, even though I'm that crazy Muslim that some people may see. Thank you so much, family.
Yes, sir. Charles, what's on your heart, brother? I'm sorry, Tori, I'll come to you next, sis.
All right. I know you had went into talking about, and I appreciate everything everybody's saying, and Raheem too. And the way I'm built, man, if you say something to me, I don't get my feelings hurt. We can talk crazy to each other, and then we can still go have dinner. That's just how I'm built. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get my point across. You get what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna get my point across. But like I said, I'll buy you a beer after that. If you don't drink beer, root beer, it doesn't matter. But I'm never gonna take it to heart to whereas I hate you forever type thing. But I'm gonna get my point across, and if you're wrong, if I feel you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you wrong. And if you're not bringing me facts, if you tell me to go jump in a lake, I'm gonna go tell you to jump in 2 lakes. So that's just how I am, man. I'm not the type of guy who I've been built in around people, being that I've had this mindset all my life, that I've really never agreed with people who had the mindset of Democrats all my life. Not as an adult, but all my life. And raised in the hood, and been to prison, and been in the military, and I still never had the mindset of most Black Democrats. And I'm not saying Democrats because of the way they vote, but the mindset of a person who votes that way. Because you have to have a mindset before you even do something. I would think so. You have to think. You don't just do anything automatically. You got to know why you did it, and what reason.
Hey,
you
y'all,
did
let me step in for a second, brother. Let me step in for a second. I'm gonna ask you this question right here.
And white liberals.
If no, listen. If I were to ask you this question, what is it that you agree, if anything at all, with the black Democrats or white liberals or whatever the case? What would be the one thing that you would agree on or that you like?
Building the community.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But we might not agree on how to build a community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with something that Rico said, and Badger said it also. Trusting the government. You got a dude who was with the government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust him like that. You get what I'm saying? So how you gonna have a hearing on something you caused? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
now,
agree.
so we going. I just want to get that part.
But that's all. That's one of the things. There's many things,
yeah.
but as of overall, I don't agree that nobody owes me anything. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree those things. You don't, because if I can't go get it, then it's up to me. I don't agree that it was anybody else's fault about my failures but me. Mm-hmm. No other man controlled that. But other people will make you believe that other people owe you or other people caused you to do this when I don't think that. I'm at the set in my mind in my years of my life and the years of this world that all the things that happened in the past did happen. Slavery did happen. Jim Crow did happen. Those things did happen. They did affect the people and some people after that. But then again, at the same time, it didn't affect people then. You had some slaves coming out of slavery owning businesses. Those are the type of ancestors I would have been. Okay. You know, not the ones who sit around and say, y'all owe me. No, open me a business and start running it.
Good deal. Stay right there, y'all. Stay right there for a second. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T, what's on your heart? And I'm glad that you did acknowledge that there is something. Okay. But go ahead, Toya with a T. What's on your heart, sis?
I guess I want to go back to, well, let me just throw this out here. That must be a God thing, how y'all talk to each other, but don't throw it this way because I don't play them games. You're going to respect me and I'm going to respect you. I see guys, you know, they talk to each other like that, suck my this, suck my that, and then they go right back to drinking beers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's a macho thing y'all do, but for me, I'm a female. I'm working on being delicate. Don't come to me with that kind of energy because if you come to me with that kind of energy, then I'm going to throw it back and I'm going to be for real. But I know True Charles is, so I know not to get offended because, you know, hey, but like I said, when I be doing whatever, but I want to get back on track. So we're talking about tonight, this insurrection that they're being charged for. Are we talking about treason? Is treason on the table, right? Because when you start looking at the insurrection and what they're getting charged with, is that where we're going? And when you do research on some of the past issues of treason, do you know that, okay, wrong time now, see, people be called, they be all thrown off. But if two people do not agree on the same thing in a court of law, that they were coerced or you know, influenced to do it or something like that, it won't be considered to be treason. You understand what I'm saying? So this is going to be a very delicate case tonight, and depending on how lawyers on both sides play this, because listen, we know how the law system go, and we know the Constitution. We know we can bob and weave and dip and all that stuff right there. And now we talking about all white everybody on there, and come on with the jokes. Time gonna be served. Are we gonna feel some kind of way? Because on the law books, justice gonna be served when they get finished flipping and flopping and making all the time up and not being able to prove two people being able to say, you understand what I'm saying? And it's not gonna be enough because on paper they're gonna be have served their sentence. That's why they taking so long right now trying to figure it out, because we know it's always an inside thing, because can't nothing get done if not. Listen, most robberies happen from what? The inside. It's very rare that a random somebody just gonna come randomly somewhere and just tie the eye on anything. It's always a course of time. Seeking, you creeping, somebody on the inside, somebody knows something, you find a way in, whether it be money, robbery, whether it be anger. You understand what I'm saying? It's always the way, and our government is notorious for this kind of way. So again, I said a couple of years ago, something is going to happen in the United States that the people, we're not going to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to think that thing is crazy, and thus is going to add more to the breakdown of the United States. And this might be it, because I'm telling you, something is not right about this whole little thing right now, just from the wording.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We're gonna switch. Let's switch up a little bit. We got a few more minutes, about a little more than 15 minutes before we get out of here. So we're gonna switch up and talk about something different, because Toya said something, and she was saying that men, we can say stuff to each other and go back and drink. For the people ones that drink beer, they go out and have a beer and stuff like that, or just sit around and just have a conversation. Well, and with women, they walk around, they call each other, and Charles said this in the chat, they call each other bees and stuff like that all the time and stuff. So what is that one thing, that line that we should not cross? Because certainly we as men cannot call a woman a bee and think we're gonna get the same result that a woman. Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Let me throw that out there. I'm not one of them women. I let everybody know immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play them games. Don't open up them doors. That's not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to respect me, and I'm going to respect you. We're going to keep that line down there where she is. I don't play them games on either side, with men or women.
And I'm going to tell you something, men, and I'm going to speak for me, and a lot of the girls that I know, man, you ain't going to call no man no B. Because now, hold on now. What, bro? Who you talking to? Who you talking to? You know what I mean? Because that's a whole different. I think that's a whole different level of disrespect. Curtis, are you still with us?
I am.
Curtis, talk to me, brother. Because men could call each other all kind of stuff, and still be boys. You ain't gonna call the man no B or nothing like that, or you ain't gonna call him no punk, stuff like that. You ain't gonna do that. But the women could call each other bees all day long in their conversation. Toya said, it don't fly with her, but I know some women, they do it all day long, every day. It's a totally different delivery. If a man, we could be joking or whatever, but I don't think it's a joke. But that person could be joking. But if he called a lady a bee, that's a whole different delivery from what her girlfriend called her that. Why is that, Curtis? Curtis?
Yeah, hear me?
Yes, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Man, that is disrespect.
Mm-hmm. Well, why isn't it disrespectful?
You calling her a dog?
But they called it. But if a woman called another woman, that be this and that be that. That's my B and blah blah blah.
They women. The rules. I'm with you. There's rules that apply. And then they admit.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, is have a conversation with your significant other, and you call it that. And you tell me how that work out.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've been mad at a lot of women throughout my life. I've never called a lady any. I don't care what the situation. I've never called a lady out a B or H or not. I've never did. And that's something I can hang my. I've never done that, man. And a lot of women have made me mad.
But you said an H, Raheem. You said an H, a B. You mean like heifer? You said an H, a B, or a H. What the H stand for?
No,
you mean a garden hose?
Is that garden tool? The garden tool.
Yeah, the garden tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you called him a heifer, but not a garden tool.
Right, that whole thing.
Look at Rico. What you say, Rico?
Got a thing.
I've never boy, y'all something else. I've never called him that either. I try to call him by name or something like that, or just don't talk to him. I just shut him off or whatever. But that's
you want to hear something?
Huh?
You want to hear something crazy? Y'all want to hear something crazy?
Let me hear something crazy.
One of the most uncomfortable feelings I ever felt dating this girl. And then when it came down to time for us to do adult things, she enjoyed and wanted me to call her that.
Mm.
And I used to feel like, hold on, man, I can't hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
makes you feel dirty.
Felt like that, y'all.
Makes you feel dirty.
I heard her talk about.
You're not supposed to be telling that, Curtis.
Dudes telling.
Letting all the cats out the bag.
I heard y'all talking about dudes telling other dudes, you know, inviting them to their parts. Where I'm from,
that's right.
You will get banged square in your mouth.
Yep.
You call a dude the B word. You even use the N word impolitely. You will get banged straight in your mouth. Ain't no more discussion. If you on the yard, and some of the brothers on here can testify, and the sisters on here can testify to this. If you on the yard, I don't care. I don't care if you the warden. You call a man the B word.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah.
You know.
It's
right now.
It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. Absolutely.
You're gonna get what your hand called for. That's just what it is. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm from, like, I know of people right now who not with us anymore. God bless the dead. Because they use that word. You understand? And they use that word to straight come out his joint. Put his work out there and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he called me. What you say? Just straight lay the dude down behind. I'm saying, like, that's a word that, you know, I don't heard it being tossed frivolously. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's nothing. Nah, man, I'm not with my. I'm just us around as a term.
Exactly. Wow. And see, and that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Let me go to Willow.
Hey, Marky.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I am on my way to the White Sox.
White Sox gonna win that game, or they gonna win?
Oh, they lost yesterday. You see that game? That was horrible. The Dodgers. They're at the Dodgers.
That's one of my teams. That the Dodgers and the Yankees. I like both of them. I ain't supposed to like both of them, but I do. But Willow, let me ask you this question: why is it that a woman could call each other the B word, and a man, even in playing, can't do that? Why is the delivery so different?
Right here, it's not okay for the other man anyway. But I don't know why women, even when I wasn't done, because a name don't set with me. I don't know why they say it's disgusting. Cause they don't even know that ain't nothing but a dog.
Yeah.
And then I heard when me and my dog, it's substitute the word. It's the same thing, but in a different flavor.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why it's called like that. You know, bunch of women in the car, they laugh at all now anyway.
Exactly.
That's that we just respect each other like that.
Exactly.
You know, see when you get involved with each other, But that's my opinion on that right here.
Exactly.
I ain't got no system.
Exactly. Cassandra, how do you feel about that? Come on.
Dangerous. No, I'm just saying it's dangerous. And to call me that one time and two and bam, and my mother had to come in, kill him. He's screaming and hollering, but you to me. But nowadays, like this other group now, especially the song, all them bees and the heck is wrong generation.
Yeah.
Song and then and I did that bee and she ain't my whore. What?
Yeah.
What? I don't know. Fly with me under Toya in that respect.
Exactly.
Female artist.
It just ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Charles, what do you say to that, brother?
A lot what Cassandra just said. When you hear it in the music like that, and people are saying it, but I think people are guided by how they're raised. Because you see girls who do it, like where I grew up in Decatur, and we grew up. You know, the area that we grew up, Candler Road. You know, you had apartments Eastwick, Western Manners, and Misty Waters. And I grew up in Eastwick. We used to sit around at night as kids, and just straight play the dozens all night. I mean, we straight played and we went at it. And the thing about it, what that brought to us is thick skin later on in life. So, but you got to understand, being out of that circle and saying something to us in malice, you got to be good, because we're going to come back at you. Yeah. And if I can hurt your feelings with my words, then, and like Curtis was saying, the people who use those words either was using them to die, or they knew it was going to start something, because if you use certain words, it's going to start something. That's you know, certain words you use to trigger people, you either using them to start something, or you just straight up ignorant, don't know. But if you're using those words to start some mess, and even like you just said, like girl said, out of what's the thing, a term of endearment. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's my B. Or dude say, oh, yo, that's my N. Yo, you know, stuff like that. If it's not out of malice, people might take it. But like Toya said, I could believe Toya, because I know people like Toya. They ain't gonna take it no matter what. You ain't finna joke around with it. Just like Curtis was saying, you ain't gonna joke around with certain words with certain people, because you don't know where they from. So it's weird that the human nature is like that, but it's true though. You ain't finna call, and I commend you for not calling any woman ever a B, because that shows who you've been around. You understand? You've not been around them. See, I've been around them. I had to call them out, but
there we go.
No, but Rico, I do commend you though, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. Lord Jesus. Look, Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I agree with Toya, Cassandra, and Willie. You know, if it's like a majority of our community that a lot out of order. But that lets me know, Toya said, then it creates thick skin. But whether it will make you comfortable, and once you get comfortable with it, you won't really understand how negative be comfortable, you know. So it gets to a point. It gets to a point where just start. I mean, I'm like them. Out of school for beating up, for calling me a boy. And especially coming from a white person, because I knew the energy that came with that. See, it's the energy that comes with words.
Yeah.
But if you're not careful, people can make you infiltrate you and tell you, and then make it sound like they're embracing you by using these negative words. And then just as soon as you turn around and that same negative word that they said you will.
Wow.
But now over time, you know, we all think about human nature. It's born, whatever is going on almost to them. So every child is now gonna hear the word and all these negative words, and they're gonna look at them as something as a term of endearment and something negative, while somebody else keeps them name these niggas. It feel like no. So when they hear it from these white boys, hey my nigga, oh man, he cool, man. He just like us. He can sing better enough. Whole time, you know what they doing? They laugh. Them conform. We don't look at that one. Just yeah, it's not like turning to a term of endearment, but to me that's just you psychologically screwing yourself to think you could take something negative, something positive, when other people people don't make it a positive. These people that originated these words and use these words as a negative term for you ain't fixing to sit back and say, well, yeah, that's a good thing. You're the only one trying to fool yourself into thinking that you are good or that you are good. But you know what these racist white people say a good nigga is? A dead one.
A dead one. Exactly. Listen, we got to get out of here, man. It's 9:59. We're going to get out of here, man. This the whole conversation has man. This conversation today has gone full circle. This conversation today has really gone full circle, man.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
This wasn't Wild Out Wednesday. This is Turmoil Thursday.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It totally went full circle, man. So I'm appreciative, man, that I think we grew today a little bit too, though. I really think that through the conversation, through everything that happened today, I think as a family, as a unit, as a team, I think we really grew a little bit today. And I can see that as well. It's been good. Turmoil or turn around Thursday. Yeah, absolutely, Toy. You got that right. You got that right. But let me go to Leonard. Leonard, give me something real quickly, brother.
Like you say, just listening to people talk and things like that, I understand exactly what they mean and what they expect, which I always try to do with you as well. So, good luck to everyone in their own pursuits. But I do believe that at some point you have to mean what you say and say what you mean.
Exactly.
And you have to stand by that.
Absolutely. Toussaint, give me something real quickly, brother. Toussaint, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go. Huh?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I say it again. Out of the heart of the mouth speak. We are so frustrated in this society. It's easy from easy to what. And every once in a while, even when you try to contain it, it's almost a norm these days. So we are like been out of shape about it. It just happens. That's why I kind of keep moving. Thank you for allowing me to be part of DKM.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hey, you're part of the family, brother. You're part of the family. But speaking of that, man, we got to get out of here, man. It's 10:01, and look here. I'm gonna go over here and make me a sandwich or something. I'm gonna go over here and eat. I'm gonna go over here and eat me some milk and drink me a sandwich.
Open-mindedness promotes better listening. Sometimes what you think you hear isn't what you hear.
Exactly. And like I said, I'm gonna go up here and eat me some milk and drink me a sandwich. That's what I'm about to do. Y'all to catch on to that later on. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see it or hear the rebroadcast in its entirety,
there you go.
Tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmedia.group.com. Man, you don't make me conform to share an entirety. I had to say it the right way one time.
look at you. You try to throw that correct grammar and verbiage in there, man. We don't do that around here, man. We don't talk about all that proper English. That proper English. We from Saginaw. We don't use that language.
Don't claim that, because that's don't claim that. You claim where you from.
Look, we don't talk proper, man. We from the nasty, from the sag.
Claim what you claim, cuz.
Good deal. Willow.
Hey, Raheem.
Willow.
I am so ready. Ooh, Lord, I'm ready. The devil is alive. He's gonna count. If he thinks he's gonna plant any seed on this line, ready as a lie. He's a liar.
Come on now. Come on. Let's go, Willow. Let's go.
You ready, Raheem?
I'm ready. Yes, let's go.
Let's go before the throne of this morning. Let's get up this morning, get it right with him. Father God in heaven, we coming to you with patience this morning. First of all, we thank you so much for showing, Lord. Father, we know that's the author of confusion. Father, I thank you so much Father, I know it was you and you alone. Father, I trust no man, but I trust in your word. Father, thank you so much for allowing me another day. Much, Lord, for what you do, action, the guidance, the wisdom, and the understanding that you give us in our lives. Touch lives. Keep me safe in the name of Jesus, Lord. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Did today, Lord. I thank you so much. I knew it was you, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for it. In Jesus' name. Amen. 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 He won't let me go right here.
Come on.
He won't let me go.
Come on.
I'm leaving anyway.
Yes. Yes. Come on, sis.
Spirit. I thank you, Lord. I thank you for the power that you give us, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for the food that you put on our table, Lord. Father, I thank you for the shelter. Thank you. I got a word of in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. I thank you. Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Come on. Willa, you about to take us there, Willa. Rico was asking earlier. He said, "Man, where Willa at? Man, I happened to pick up my phone."
Yeah, I did it again. as soon as I was about to type it in, he went to you. I was like, boy, I knew it had feeling that energy or something.
Exactly. Man, listen, we're about to get out of here for today, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:05. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that you live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Take care of each other, and we will see you. If God said the same, we'll see you in the morning. In the morning. That's how we say it right here. Have a great evening.